night and day. For next to nothing pay, so they can't see their way. We don't enjoy equal facility. Like Pharaoh and company, brainwashing we say we free. We just can't go this way. We just can't go this way. Please deliver us today. We just can't go this way. Time to make them oppress us pay. We just can't go this way. So the children could see their way. We just can't go this way. Suffer like this. You said that you would take care of the poor, just like you did in Egypt. When Pharaoh had the Israelites in bondage, you delivered them. But here again, we are in the same khaki van. We have those modern Pharaohs who oppress the poor, who represents Israel. They confuse us with so much lies. Just come on this way. Not even thinking that we will realize. And if we criticize, we could be ostracized. We don't know who to trust. That's why I say, Lord, please listen to this prayer that comes from the poor. Another Moses again. Oh, we just can't go this way. Please deliver us today. Time to make them oppress us pay. So the children could see
Do not categorize the blessing by colors. It is not the colors you need to watch. It is the character. Watch out for the character. I'm going to tell you that there are three basic types of people that you will interact with if you are a child of destiny. Can I share this with you? The first group are confidants. Confidants. You will have very few of them. Confidants are those people in your life who love you unconditionally. They are into you. Whether you're up or down, right or wrong, they are into you. They are in for the long haul. If you get in trouble, they get in trouble with you. They'll come see you in the jailhouse. They'll come get you out of the crack house. They're confidants. You can open up and share anything with them. You'll never inherit your kingdom until you find your confidant. You can't be David till you find your Jonathan. Having a good confidant is the key that unlocks the kingdom, because you were raised outside the gate and God's going to cause you to reach over the wall. You got to have a confidant behind the wall who can mentor you for what God is going to do next in your life. The problem with most people is that everybody they run around with is under them. And so you are forever feeding people who can't feed you. And after years of feeding them, they begin to drain you. You got to have somebody who can feed you so you can feed somebody else. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Am I talking to anybody in here? You need the confidant then. The confidant is those few people that come along in your life that are for you. They are with you. They are intimately intertwined in your life. They are there to make sure that you reach your destiny. They will confront you. They will get in your face. They will get in your business. They will tell you when you're wrong because they are confidants. If you have 2 or 3 of them in a lifetime, you are a blessed person. Without them, you'll never be who God called you to be. You need to find your confidant. Number 2, the other group are your constituents. They are not into you. They are into what you are for. They are for what you are for. They are your constituents. And as long as you are for what they are for, they will walk with you and work with you and labor with you, but never think that they are for you. They are for what you are for. And you have to know that, because if they meet somebody else that will further their agenda, they will leave you and hook up with them, because they were never for you. They were just for what you were for. They are your constituents. And throughout your life, if you're not careful, particularly if you're broken, you will mistake your constituents for your confidants. And you will think that they are for you when they are really not for you. They are just for what you are for. And by the time you get through falling in love with them, they will break your heart as they hook up with somebody else who is for what you are for, because it was never about you anyway. It was about the causes that you represent. They are for what you are for, but they are not for you. They are your constituents. Can I go deeper with this? The third group are your comrades. These people are not for you, nor are they for what you are for. It is just that they are against what you are against. And the comrades will make strange bedfellows. This will cause people to come together who are not for you, and they are not for what you are for, but they are against what you are against. And they will team up with you to help fight a greater enemy. But don't be confused by their associations. They will only be with you until the victory is accomplished. These people are like scaffolding. They come into your life to fulfill a purpose. And when the purpose is complete, the scaffolding is removed. But don't be upset when they are removed, because the building always remains when the scaffolding is removed. What I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, expect the constituents and the comrades to leave you and desert you after a while. Don't be upset when they don't react to your dream the way you expected them to, because they were never really with you in the first place. Be careful then who you tell your dream to, because if you tell your dream to your constituents, they will desert you and try to fulfill the dream without you. If you tell it to your comrades, they won't support it because they never were for what you were for anyway. If you find a few people in your entire life with whom you can share your dream with, you are a blessed somebody. I can tell you how to identify people who are really for you. If they are really for you, they will weep with you when you weep, and they will rejoice when you rejoice. When you walk in a room and you tell somebody good news, stop being happy for a minute and watch their reaction. If they're not happy for you, shut your mouth and walk back out of the door. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying to you. Oh yeah, because when they are really connected to you, they will be happy for you when you share your dream. Find somebody, look them in the eye and say, are you happy for me? If you don't get the right reaction, don't tell them anything else. You need somebody who's really going to be happy for you. I don't want just anybody praying for me. I don't want none of them haters praying for me, because you know you hate me and you don't want me to succeed. I want somebody praying for me who really wants me to be blessed, who wants me to be an overcomer, so you can put up your oil and stop speaking in tongues, because you know you never did speak to me anyway, and ain't no need in you coming up here in this hospital like you gonna pray some cancer up off of me. I'd rather have somebody who really loves me lay across the bed and rebuke the devil. And God is so faithful, he'll always give you somebody. Oh, if he ever sent anybody into your life to help you, you ought to just clap your hands and thank him for the people he sent. Don't worry about the people he took. You ought to praise him for the people he sent. Tell somebody, say, somebody help me. I didn't get here by myself. Somebody helped me to get here. Somebody taught me how to stand. Somebody got me behind the gate. Somebody taught me the protocol of the pilot. Somebody encouraged me when I felt like dropping out of school. Somebody helped me when my back was up against the wall. Somebody mentored me when I was going through a divorce. Somebody helped me when I was going through a crisis. God is so faithful that he will never leave himself without a witness. He will send somebody.
There are only two animals on the planet that the Creator identified himself with. The first one is the eagle. The eagle. And the second animal is the lion. And when I identified those two animals as his favorite to identify himself with, I recognized I better study these two animals, because if he is the leader of the universe and I want to be a leader on earth, I better find out the nature of these animals and also the attitude of these animals. And I discovered that both of them are the kings of their domain. The eagle is the king of the bird kingdom, and the lion is the king of the animal kingdom. But let's talk a little bit about the lion. The lion has what I call the spirit of leadership. And this word spirit here is referring to attitude. Everybody say attitude. A leader has an attitude that makes him or her different from followers. Now, the lion is the king of the jungle, but the lion to me is a great source of encouragement to all of us. I want you to write this down. Remember this as long as you live. Number one, the lion is not the tallest animal in the jungle. Number two, the lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. Number three, the lion is not the heaviest animal in the jungle. Number four, the lion is not the smartest animal or the most intelligent animal in the jungle. And yet, when he shows up, they all run away. Well, here's one of my favorite quotes that I put in my books, and I believe it really brings home the point. An army of sheep led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions led by a sheep? And the answers to that dilemma is this: because leadership can transform cowards into violent warriors. The right kind of leadership can transform a timid into bold people who are fearless. Leadership is that powerful. Leadership can walk into a camp of depressed people, and in 20 minutes they have turned on into unbelievable, powerful armies, because leadership determines everything. The lion is the king of the jungle because of one word: attitude. Everybody say attitude. Write it down: attitude. The lion has a different attitude that makes every animal afraid of him. Now, we don't want to lead by fear, but it does take respect for you to become a leader. When I use the word fear in the jungle, we're talking about respect. The elephant respects the lion. The hyenas respect the lion. The giraffes, they respect the lion. What makes these massive animals respect such a small cat? The attitude is the difference. For example, a lion will see an elephant, and the thing that comes to his mind, one word: lunch. I can eat this thing. And he acts the way he thinks. Now, here's another amazing mystery. The elephant is larger, bigger, stronger, more powerful, heavier, and more intelligent. And yet, when the elephant sees the lion, one word comes to mind: eater. Attitude is a product of belief. You cannot have an attitude beyond your belief. So your attitude comes from your belief system.
You get up one morning, your elders have something, you don't know how they get it, but you want to use it. But if you ask them old people to get the things what they went through, ask them this any day, and your parents sure to say, black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're able to get a pulley and jam with the devil. Why? Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're ready to swim offshore and hold your boat steady. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that dragon eye, you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man do get nothing easy. You get up one morning, and oil money running. How it come you don't know, so that it care how the thing go. But if they read about Uriah, they wanna find out the pressure. How we get so much old hell to get a penny from TLL. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap iron. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that eagle eye, you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. say we get up one morning, independence happening, getting the thing come easy. Now they're taking liberty. But if they know about petition, we are to send to England for some woman to tell we in this colony free. Black man have to keep on jabbing, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jabbing, for black man to get a little something. People hold you, humiliate you, turn on and sell you, and then they free you. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you hear you get a little something with that dragon, now you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. So when a black man gets something, he got to start thinking. You get it there easy. He got to practice economy. From getting licked from the slave master to become the landowner. Brother, it's a terrible journey, back with plenty brutality. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to rise up, you got to stand up, pick up your mind, you will always stay on top. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap.
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. It's so sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. People see you smile, but don't know the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother, cover my sister, them who under pressure. Cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it, Jesus. Cover me while you fix it, Jesus. Cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it, Jesus. Cover me while you fix it, Jesus. Cover me. Cover me, man. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it, Jesus. Cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover, cover, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover, cover, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover, 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 cover me, cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Yes, 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 yes. Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only In the Village with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, we come to you every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. TNT time and 6 to 9 p.m. USA time. And as usual, let me bring in my partner, the man himself, the man who they call, should I call his name? Uncle Tommy, boy. Uncle Tommy, welcome.
Good evening, sir. How you doing today, Professor?
Tommy, I can't complain, boy. But Tommy, today, boy, I had a hard one, boy. Oh, God, I had a hard one.
Wow.
I had a hard one today, Tommy, boy. Boy,
What? How do you have a hard day?
Well, you know, most of the time the hard days on the track.
The track was hard. It was frozen.
The track was frozen that hard, you know. But you know, Tommy, I have to find a way to sort of document what I'm doing on the track. You know, maybe I could find if I could run with a GoPro or something to tape to tape myself now working out on the track. I have to find something.
But we're gonna have to do a movie or a documentary or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could do a little from Lavantil to Wall Street. You understand?
From Lavantil to Wall Street.
Yeah, yeah. Already had the name and everything already.
And beyond, because remember, you're off Wall Street now and you're going after some world records that you're trying to establish.
Correct
Yes?
is right.
So it has to be beyond.
You know,
Wall Street
Tommy,
and beyond.
it have somebody who wrote a book called From Mason to Whitehall. I wonder if he kind of borrowed from Lavantil to Wall Street. What do you think?
Not particularly. I didn't give it thought, but even a thought, it's I don't think they both line up.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, so you know what, Tommy? Before I do that, we didn't play we didn't play our. Let's play this. You know, before we start the program, we had to start. So here we go, folks. Sorry for this. Here we go.
It have our place WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, come with me. We have Dan on WZYE, Santa Meditate.
Okay.
Yes, right. Yes, Tommy, there you have it. There you have it. Well, Tommy, we already have our first caller. Caller, welcome. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, Wall Street. What's that? We having a serious problem here. Well, I calling from the workers' rights movement. My name is Renison Jeffrey. We having a serious problem here in Trinidad, right? Concerning a situation that taking place in Sandy Grande. Okay. And what happening is that apparently, allegedly, a matter of fact, I want to keep as they say, politically correct. There's a particular officer that kind of pushing a kind of narrative in the station and advantaging the youths in Sandy Grande. And the people down there crying out and talking out. Now, we're supposed to go up there with our team today. And we kind of hold off on it because we would have talked to various people in different ministries and things, right? Now, we're having a big tongue meeting there with the police. On Thursday, we decided to hold off until Thursday that taking place. Now, what the villagers would have been telling us is that there's a situation where the police, certain police officers and gangsters having a kind of a relationship together in which certain members within the community end up dying, falling prey to this kind of ungodly alliance. Now, we would have been showing it a lot on our channel and thing, you understand? But it's a situation I believe that they need to pay attention to. The public need to pay attention to. The police commissioner, Fitzgerald Hines, I mean, all of them. I know he's a kind of man that he think poor, he track record poor, but the people, they're going through a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think your computer on. Again, a feedback.
Yes, again, a computer. Yeah, computer on.
Turn it on a little bit. Turn it on again, a little feedback. Turn on the volume on the computer. Yeah, now listen to this, right? On Thursday, if you want, we could work something out where we can stream it. We can stream the event. You understand? So we could get as much people as possible to tune into it. You understand?
Yeah, well, that we plan to do. We plan to go up there and stream the event because we'd have heard that in the grapevine that Ms. Ola would have called. So the same person that that fall under the same thing. That she coming up there, and we would have had some talk to the assistant commissioner of police, and he coming up there too. So we want to get that outside there because it's a dire situation. Plenty people calling and saying, "Boy, you know, them get set up and this one gets set up," and people saying that is one of the worst police station in the country.
Yeah, Renison, there's a video that you did with one of the parents was talking about what happened with her son, right?
Yes.
You should send that video for me, and so I could actually play that for the people in order for them to get an idea of what you're talking about. You remember that one?
I will send it.
Yeah. Send that for me. Send that for me, and I could play it, you know, as we speak right now, so I could give the people out there an idea of exactly what you're talking about and hearing it from, you know, the mother's mouth about what happened with her son and how the police officer had treated her son at that point in time.
Yeah, because it real bad. It real bad. It bad. It bad. And what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to let she, because I want to get in contact with her in a way she could give her side of the story.
Correct.
Here.
Yeah, that no problem. So you
All
can,
right, so what I'm going to do,
call her.
I'll call her back in a little while.
Yeah, okay, cool. No problem. Okay.
He should send the information, the call-in information to her.
Well,
so
no, he just called in. He's gonna call on the phone, and then he's gonna do like a three-way and call us.
Okay.
But I know the situation he's talking about, Tommy. And
yeah, I'm familiar with it also.
Oh, there we go. And Tommy, you see, Tommy, this is what the media is supposed to be highlighting and working together and trying to get this information out there.
Which media?
The U.S. media.
Oh, okay. Because when you think about the Trinidad and Tobago media, it leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to dealing with items or issues that affect the population directly.
And why is that?
Because they have to get a political nudging or approval of sorts before they do anything. It seems that way.
That's sad in 2024.
Because it's not country first, you know, it's party first.
And I just say that I want to touch on something that Mrs. Kamala Prasad has said on the platform. And I hope, Tommy, I hope that it is not political rhetoric. I hope.
We can't be sure about that because, like I said at the last show, it's rocky way to rock.
That's why I say I hope. It's a good. It could take a little bit of tweaking, but we go get into it. It could take a little bit of tweaking, but the idea is something that all of us know about.
Yeah, but if the idea didn't come from, the right source or from a user-friendly source, it is just an idea and nothing else.
Yeah, but we go get into that. Let me just finish with the chat here. Curtis Monteshad was in first.
Yeah.
Curtis Monteshad is my true Kenyan friend. Yeah, Curtis live in building 3, boy. I think Curtis live in building 3, you know. Yeah, and we lived in building 1. Yeah, and of course, we fell from Fishing Pond. Bijram, locked on. Good day, Uncle Tommy and Walls. All those who locked on. And of course, we partner Caribbean Soul. Good night, WZYT. Wall Street, give us your opinion on the Gary interview video, please. We're gonna play it. We're gonna play that Caribbean Soul.
Greetings, Caribbean Soul.
Yeah, Tommy. Them UNC people mad with Gary, you know. They're upset with Gigi, buddy.
Because he wants to go up alone?
Well, I don't know if it's that he wants to go alone, but I think it's the attack on Kamala Prasad Besessa. I think that's what they're kind of upset with. Because if he wants to go alone, nobody can stop him from going alone, right? If you want to go your way, you could just go your way rejoicing. But
he has already stated that he knows going alone is suicide.
all right, let's take this call. I think this is them here. Yeah. Hello, Renner.
Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night. How you doing?
Right, I have the personal line right now.
Okay.
As to what taking place within the thing.
Sure.
So, ma'am, explain, introduce yourself to the live Wall Street.
Okay, so
Hi, good night.
So let me just tell you, you are live on WZYE 95.9 FM in New York and New Jersey. It's myself here, who is Professor Wall Street, and my partner, Uncle Tommy. Okay. So
Okay.
good day. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Does someone have a computer on in the background anywhere?
No.
No, that was my computer. I turned it off again.
Okay, all right, no problem. Okay, all right. So we are hearing a story coming out of Sandy Grande with respect to the police. Do you want to give us, kind of tell us, bring us up to date on what's happening?
All right. Do you want me to start from the first instance? What took place?
Yes, you can start from there.
All right. So my 19-year-old son came home, right? And he showed me a video where the Sandy Grande task force was searching him. And when they searched him and took his picture, right? And then he went on to tell me that it's not the first time they've been harassing him and telling him that he's in a gang and all of that, right? So this day in question, the Thursday night, somebody happened to capture it on video, right? And they sent it to me. So when I saw they take a picture of him, that had me a little, bothered. I didn't sleep that night. I studied whole night. I said, but even if they're searching him, why take your personal phone and take his picture? So I decided to go to Sandy Grande police station the Friday morning to see if I could speak to one of the inspectors or somebody, with a little rank to ask them what is the reason for that. And if it is that my son is in a gang, I would want to know, because I'm a working mother. I work in Port of Spain General Hospital, and I don't be around, so he doesn't know what your children doing. So if they have any information, share it with me so that I will know how to treat with the situation. Right? So I spoke to Officer Maraj. He's in charge of the task force unit, right? That is the person in charge of the officers that have been harassing my son. So he then took my number, my name, and my son's name, and he said he will give me a call. But something didn't sit right with me. When I watch him, I say, see, you look like you will give me the runaround. Let me head to a professional standard of bureau. So I went down there, I spoke with one of the officers there. He took my complaint and he told me they just deal with protocol, so I'll have to go back to Sandy Grande. I said, okay. I went back to Sandy Grande. I asked to speak to an inspector. They told me none of the inspectors are there. They gave me the runaround, because normally when they go to the station in Sandy Grande and you ask to speak to an inspector, they just block you one time. I say, all right, I would wait until after the carnival and I will try my best to see who I know to get onto any of the inspector. So on Juve morning, that was Carnival Monday morning, I was standing in Sandy Grande together with my son, his co-workers, and some of the neighbors in the neighborhood where we live. I saw the officers passing a line formation going up the street, and they spent a little while and then they came back down. And when they came back down, I saw the officer. Well, at the time I didn't know he was the said officer my son was complaining about. Right? He walked in my son's direction, tapping the battle. He had the battle in his right hand and tapping it on his left hand. And he walked straight towards my son and took him with the battle in his throat. So when I saw that, because I wasn't far from my son, because I came down the road to kind of monitor things, because I picked a thing on my mind. So when I came down, when I saw that, I ran up on them one time and I said, but what did he do? I didn't see him doing nothing. What did he do? So the officer just hit him a battle one time in his belly, pull him towards him and start to beat him. And in a snap, he fling him towards the rest of the officers and they surrounded him. And it was battle and kick. My son get kicked all in his groins, all in his back, all in his head. He get about 12 officers. About 12 officers were surrounding him, beating him, whilst the officer Cortez, right, holding me back. So I telling him, I said, that is my son, and I see what you do. You understand? I am his mother. The officer face changed when I said that. And then he started pushing me off and telling me he will arrest me for obstruction of police duties and calling me an ass and calling me an imps and thing. And I continued pressing on to get in there. And I stood there after a while helpless, and I watched these people and them beat my son on the ground. You hear what I'm telling earlier? And I couldn't save him. When they pick him up and they handcuff him, the look on my son's face, it sent, at the moment I felt helpless. And the look that he gave me is like, Mommy, what do? You understand? And I felt so hurt to know that it's not the bandits and them were attacking him. It's the police that are attacking him. And I can't even go to the police for help because it's the police were doing it. So while we were there now, a neighbor who actually saw what happened, he came out from where he was standing and he confronted them. He said, well, officer, I see what you do the boy. You didn't have no right there. You beat him and all they go lock him up too. Well, they started to beat that mister and they lock him up and they charge him with obstruction and resisting arrest. Right? So when they decided to take my son to the station, I followed alongside them. When we went to the station, they searched them in the charge room. In the charge room, there's a big clear glass over the counter. So you could see behind the counter where they searched them. They searched my son, they searched the gentleman, and one or two other people that was there that wasn't involved in our altercation. And I saw they took out my son's cell phone and his wallet. The said officer who did the beating came and handed it to me with a smirk on his face. I said, okay, what is the next step now? Because you lock him up. What it is he have on him? He watched me. He said, come on from here. You're making us that noise in the station. I said, I'm not moving, I'm not making no noise. I want to know what you lock him up for, what you beat him for. So another officer, I started quarreling, and another officer came and said, ma'am, here what's going on? It's best you leave and come back. After the juvie, they have a way, sometimes they just lock them up and they just let them go. I left, I stand up outside the station and never moved from there until the juvie finished about 10:30. I'm on an international call, stop it. When I do so now, when I went back to the station, I didn't see the officers that arrested him. I saw a female officer. So I asked her, I gave her my son's name and I asked her, what is going on with my son? She went and she took up the book and she told me that he's being charged for resisting arrest and having a knife on him. Well, I started quarreling, I started crying. I said, but I now see they searched my son there. He had no knife on him. You understand me? She said, ma'am, that is what in the book. So I said, okay. I went around, I tried to get a lawyer. And the Thursday to represent him in court. When he came out, right? No, when he came out, well, the magistrate charged him. When he came out, he said, Mommy, I was feeling real. I was in so much pain. He said, ask them to carry me to the hospital. They carry everybody and then carry me. I said, really? I said, okay. So then we went after we went home, he take a shower, he lie down on the bed and he eat and thing. And then I said, look, let me have a little chat with him to give him a little pep talk because I see that his spirit is broken. You understand? Because he was embarrassed in front of his peers. He was brutally beaten by 12 officers, including Officer Cortez, right? He told me, he said, Mommy, I have something to tell you, like these people really wanted to do me something bad. And I said, what do you mean? He said, while he was there, he met up one or two fellas and they were talking and they started to introduce themselves to each other. And one of the young men said, wait, you's Jabari? He said, yes, I is Jabari. He said, what are you coming here for? He said, well, they say that resisting arrest and I have a knife. He said, no. He said, you were supposed to get a gun. So my son said, when he heard that, he belly started to boil. He said, what gun? Me and no gun. The young man said he heard the Officer Cortez and the other members of the task force planning. And they were saying, Jabari outside, Jabari outside. He out there, he out there. We gain him this gun here tonight. That is what my son said the young man told him. So the day for trial, they go into court. He said the boy went in before him, see the magistrate. I was in the lawyer office, so we was on a virtual thing in court, right? And I really heard the magistrate say about talk about somebody having a gun and they remanded. So I didn't even put the puzzle together. It's when he come home, he telling me the story. So he said, Mommy, you know, the same gun they alleged they was going to give me, you know, they ended up giving the fella, and the fella started crying. He said, Mommy, I feel so sad. I started crying too. You understand? So that come and done there, the magistrate give him bail. We come out home, and I decide I'm going to take to social media and let everybody know what I saw with my own 2 eyes, what Lamuel Cortez did to my son. If I wasn't there, I would have never gone to social media. I might have given him the benefit of the doubt. I might have said, you know, he was given trouble and the police apprehend him, you know, and I would have given leeway to that, right? So after that now, I started to make live on social media and TikTok.
So let me ask
and then people start.
Let me ask a quick question.
Go ahead.
Did you ever take your son? Did you ever take your son to see a doctor to the hospital?
Yes. Well, on the Thursday evening, right? Not the Thursday. I think it was the Sunday. The Sunday I took him to the hospital, right? Because he was complaining and a lot of back pain. So when I took him to the Sunday, not the hospital, the health center, they didn't see any marks of violence on his body, because I explained to the doctor. She said, well, all the marks had already left. So, and then they said that the X-ray machine was down, so they can't do any X-rays. So she just prescribed painkillers for him, right? I said, okay, so I give him my own home remedy, the little saffron and whatever, and right now he's still on painkillers, right? So he came now and he told me, he said, Mommy, I'm still getting headaches and I'm still getting pain. So I told him yesterday self, I said, well, when you come from work, I'll try to come up early and I will take you to the hospital for you to do a follow-up. So yesterday morning now, while I was on my way to Port of Spain, I got a phone call that he was, some fellas jumped him in Sandy Grande, right in front of the station. 2 fellas came out of a car and they started to beat him. One had a knife. Some good Samaritan that was passing by, saw the incident and they come in after. Well, they give him some good blows, and in front of the station, and the 2 young men just left after they done beat him. They went in the station, walk and signed they signed the copybooks, because when you do wrong in the court, you have to go and sign, right? On certain days, they went and signed the copybook and they come back out normal. He said police was in front of the station, they saw what happened and nobody intervened.
Wait. Let me understand this. 2 individuals jumped out of a car, beat your son, went in the police station, signed the books, and came back out and nothing. They weren't apprehended or anything.
Nobody wasn't apprehended. So when he told me that, I was on my way to Port of Spain, close to Port of Spain. So I went straight to Professional Standard of Bureau, again, back to the same officer who we went and gave the statements to, right? And I told her what happened. She then told me, I spoke to Senior Superintendent, let me see if I get the card. I can't remember her name right now, all of the card here. So her name is Suzette Martin, right? Woman, Senior Superintendent of Police, right? I spoke with her. She listened to what I have to say and she sent me back to Sandy Grande. So she told me to go and speak to Inspector Sookdale, right? So I went back there, I spoke to Inspector Sookdale. He listened to what I had to say and then he chimed in a little bit. But while I was sitting there, I'm a very observant person, Now, something happened in front of the station. You all have footage from end to end. This gentleman, this inspector didn't say, well, all right, Miss Edwards, let us get on top of things because I find something not right here. He just listened to what I had to say calmly, take me downstairs, because I had to ask for transport to pick up my son because he was by my sister to take him to the hospital. So they took me to the hospital with my son. The officers and them wait like about an hour and a half. They left us there seeking medical attention. So while my son was seeking medical attention, I came out of the hospital to get something for him to eat. So I know the 2 fellas that jumped my son, because he showed me pictures of them, right? And I know them very well by seeing them. the two young men passed up the road. They passed, when they turned the car, they passed back down, and one of them showed me a gun. I called 999 patrol, right? E999, sorry. And I told them of the incident. Nobody came back. They just called me and tell me if anything happened, give them a call.
Well, shit, you know what's funny about that? Because we was in constant communication with Miss Edwards here. And we would have called 999 the same way. We would have called the station and we'd have get some information from police officers who are friendly to us. And they would have tell us, call the network. You understand? A beating that take place within the front of the station. The two police officers, what she didn't tell us, she was accompanied with police officers and they leave she in the hospital.
Yeah,
and these two men and them is wanted for, one of them I believe wanted for murder. Beat up the person, beat up his son and leave them. A man wanted for murder when we get like one bail.
In front of the police station. In front of the police station.
In front of the police station.
And the police don't know. They don't know CCTV. No CCTV.
And what we would have done to her, when she would have went and talked to the person in the station, we'd have done a live and would have taped the whole session, the whole conversation, so it's outside there. And then people and them, they're still operating in this way.
That's sad, man. We have to do something about that, because it just appears to me, right, just from listening to the discussion, that there is something in there somewhere. Why are they targeting your son? That's my big question. Why is your son being targeted?
Well, because I came on social media
prior to that.
Wall Street,
yeah.
It has certain things that we can't disclose on this network, because, I mean, we could go into the intricate part in which they would have offered certain members within that community, police members, we could say it as that. Certain people would have made certain offers to them, and when they blanket and say that they don't want to sell drugs to them, they don't want to do this. You understand? They started operating a particular way. Because watchmen, that same officer would have killed somebody, and the person wanted to do an interview in which she would have revealed that what take place. And I could talk it because I ain't afraid nobody. One of the officers, they had the woman house under siege, right? In concordance with the lady C. And they ordered them to take off the camera. And all of a sudden, the person gets shot in the chest. That was an incident that would have taken place at least a month back or a month and a half back. And the person died. The person's wife was a police officer. And the thing about it, what's so funny, what people not paying attention to, a man was sleeping on the bed, so to say. The report say that, But when the parents say something different, a man sleeping on the bed, and you come and you shoot a man in the chest and say, he aim a gun at you. But what the real story with the mother say is something different. Them had the house under siege, nobody could not leave, nobody could order them to take off the camera, and they shoot the man. That is what the parents say. That'll tell you how serious it is with our Sandy Grande station.
So the meeting that they're having on Thursday, are you saying that the commissioner of police is going to be there?
Well, right after, no, we when I realized what taking place, I decided to reach out to CNC3, right? Because I needed my story to be heard, because you can't be beating people trying and doing people trying wickedness just like that, right? So I reached out to CNC3, I reached out to Mr. Banwari. He works at CNC3, and he came up the road and he did a story. Well, he was interviewing me and my son. And to my surprise, there were a lot of young men that came around, right? And they chime in and started to tell Mr. Banwari, while he was doing the recording, what it is, the injustice that they were suffering under that same officer, Lamuel Cortez, and other officers of the task force, where they plant gun on them, give them weed. While I was posting up my video on social media, another mother was posting up her side of her story, where the same Lamuel caught her. She just didn't call his name because she said she wasn't there. She didn't see. She just alleging what her son told her, right? So when I saw what she put up, I contact her one time. I say, you going through the same problem? She said, yes. I said, here's my number. And she called me and she told me the name of the officer that her son told her, right? So I said, well, that's the same officer who abused my son too.
Yeah, Miss Edwards. It's Miss Edwards, right? Hold for us. Give us 5 seconds. We got to go for a quick break. We're going to go for a quick 5-second break and we'll be right back. 5 seconds. Okay? Give us 5 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Stay right there.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE LP 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM. You're listening to...
So we are back. We are back with you. So go ahead. Is it Miss Edwards or Mrs. Edwards?
Miss Edwards.
Miss Edwards. So go ahead, Miss Edwards. Here is one thing Here's one thing I like to ask, and Renison, I like to ask this, right? We are saying that the reason that your son is being targeted is because whichever police officer it is maybe wanted him to do something and he decided that he wasn't going to do it, and then they decide to target him rather than anything else. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's correct.
Okay. Now your son wasn't in any trouble or anything like that, right?
No, my son never had no altercation with the police.
Okay.
To say like, he get locked up. The first time he had altercation with them is he was coming from classes. And the police was advantaging one of his friends. He took out his phone to videotape the officer. Well, I can call the officer name because it was long before that. It was Akeem Blake. He was an officer, same officer, in the same task force. He hold my son, take away his cell phone, pelt it in the bush, throw out the book bag, cuff him in his face, crack the gun in his face, and abuse him. I did the same following. I went on social media. I went to Professional Standard Bureau. They call him. They take statement from my son, and all they told me, they will deal with it. And I just see the officer was removed from Sandy Grande, and that was the end of that. So this is my son's second altercation with the Sandy Grande police. So I am saying probably, apart from that, and the both of them, the both officers are friends, right? And that, go ahead.
No. So Renison and Miss Edwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is currently the status? What's the current status?
Well, right now, I spoke to the assistant commissioner today, right? Someone gave me his number and I called him and I told him about the situation. So he then called the Sandy Grande police station and he spoke with the inspector Ryan Khan, and he told him that they are conducting investigations on what's taking place, right? So tonight there, one of the officer who is in charge of not task force, what does do the follow-ups when crimes and things happen? The officer Ramnath, he called me this afternoon and he told me about the town meeting, and I explained to him about the situation that happened yesterday morning. So I told him that my son is a little frightened to come into Grande Station, seeing that the officer that target him is working there. He said, he will provide. He will send two of his officers to come to the home to take a statement, and they will go and collect the medical. So they will do a follow-up as to the beating yesterday. So far, after we did the meeting with CNC3, the same evening, the commissioner reached out and she said that we are having a town meeting on the 29th, which is the Thursday this week here, for 6:30, for everybody to attend.
Okay, and she'll be there, right?
Well, we're hoping that she will be there.
Okay, well, it seems like if there's a great possibility that we will get some results, because It I don't know what to say. Tell me, what do you have to say? I don't know, because it's kind of hard for a parent, right? If your son is not in any type of trouble, for him to have difficulties with the police just like that.
I mean, it's clear that we have rogue cops in this situation. And of course, there seems to be no accountability to the higher ups, because if the higher ups are playing a game and they're all playing together, then we have a real bad situation going on here. And there needs to be some sort of action being taken by those who are in higher positions than those in Sangre Grande, because this thing it's appalling, it's disturbing, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is kind of, to be honest with you, I'm a little disturbed without having a lot of the information. But I don't think I saw the young lady's video on the workers' right platform, and I was kind of amazed. And the thing about it is that the same story I heard there is the same story she just told, right? That Mr. Edwards just told. It's the same exact story with regards to the incident that happened with her son.
Man, I
And
feel
I mean,
pain for her, man.
yeah. My question is, why? That's my question. Why? Renison, you think you could tell us why?
And,
Criminal
and the
cops,
thing
man.
about it, Tommy, Tommy says something there, is that what going on here in Trinidad, if is that we clearly seen a game playing here. And the thing about it is, if all of them playing this game together, then we in serious problems. Because you can't see it that, all right, the law that's supposed to protect and serve people. All right, the reality of the police situation in Trinidad is clear in the grass. I know it because I live in the ghetto. Where I come from Labrie, and we just see the actions of the police. There are things that, I mean, we don't know evidence, but it have eyewitness that could tell you, police raid, they bring drugs, they sell it on the block. They are among that police block in Labrie. It's the same thing going on throughout the country. We don't expect all the police to be good enough. But at least when in situation like this taking place, that people need to come out now. The good ones and them need to talk. The bad ones and them, I mean, it's too much. Because look, let me show you something. Just what the woman saying here. Somebody would have called me, one of my members of the workers, right? Would have tell me about a situation that taking place in Lavantel, in which no police officers from different stations. And if they decide to target you as an individual, crap or smoke your pipe.
Correct is right.
And this is not no game here, you know, because look, let me show you something. The other day I was to apologize to a magistrate in Point 14 court concerning an incident that would have been taking place with me and still going on. Imagine this Wall Street, a magistrate send me to jail without charging me. That would take place in Trinidad. And if I didn't experience that, I would have said a man lie.
Send you to jail.
And when a magistrate send me to jail without a charge. Now, the matter is currently before the court right about now, because I sue the magistrate. Now, they move the case now and carry it to another magistrate. And let me tell you what it is, a custody matter. It's a custody matter, you know. You send me to jail for a custody matter, and the next magistrate now, when I come before the court, the next magistrate will want to talk and say, well, you know, the person don't follow the rules, they're breaching the order and thing. And she now decided to do so. So when I speak out about it on social media, you know what take place? She say I lie, and I had to apologize. Now, we not the money because we don't have a case here against a MP in point here already. We not the money to waste. We really apologize to she, and we call that off. But the thing about it is this. It have this alliance with police officers. It's a known fact. Dr. Gary Griffith at the other day I see money program. Gary Griffith would have said that they are rogue police officers. And here the next thing he would have said, he said the amount of illegal drugs and guns coming to the legal ports of entry, and that is a fact. I would have known for a fact that magistrates and prosecutors and things, I mean, I could call out certain things, but as I saying, for the sake of the fact I know the monitoring me, I can't say certain things. I just had to refrain my question. I refrain what I'm saying on social media these days because of the legal implication. Because we get to understand, just as they have, just how we could say we want them are the right to bring up before the court and say that we abuse defamate the character. And it's up to us now to provide information based on certain things. You understand? So the thing about it is this. It might be looking like something very trivial that a police officer would have reach out to a member of the public and say they want to sell, they'll find them how much blocks of marijuana or cocaine to sell for them. And when they refuse to do it, they started target them. That looked trivial to us, but these police officers, these things really does occur within our country.
It's really
It
sad.
looks like small enough. When
Are
you're
we wondering?
when you're in it, you just know.
And we're wondering how
Going
we
to be a
can.
serious incident here in Sandy Grande. It's not only this woman alone talking out.
And let me share our experience with you. When I was much younger, my children's father, he was on the rogue side, right? And one day I was home and I saw a police jeep pull up and hand him 2 bags of marijuana from the police jeep. When I saw that, I got annoyed. I started quarreling and I called my father and I left and I went back home in my mother and father's house. And I was telling my father them what I said. I saw the police officer, he's dead now. He bring 2 bags of marijuana and give to my children's father to sell for him. And from then on, I said, but wait, it's police in crime too?
That happened in Sandy Grande?
Yeah, that happened in Sandy Grande many years ago. My kids were toddlers. Well, him and I separate now. That is what I saw.
Wall
So
Street.
It's not today this happening, no.
Wall Street, if you go now and do a Google search, and you can see a police vehicle sink, right? On the beach. That happened in Cedros. Now, these police officers who would have sink in that vehicle, one of them to fire them, one of them still working in the Point 14 station. Right? Them was waiting there to do a drug move. Now, the fire one based on that. The next one say he didn't know. It was that going on in Trinidad. The very police vehicle that was used to do them thing. And we getting on like if we know. If you pull it up now on Google, you go see a police vehicle sink in the silent Cedros. Them was waiting there to make a... And let me bust a serious mark here for you. There is a garbage truck. What does leave from Cedros and go to town? That had no rubbish in it.
Say that again?
There is there are 2 white garbage trucks. Somebody called me about 2 days ago, I see it. Does leave from Cedros, a white garbage truck. We observed it yesterday. It had a blue barrel on it. We had some pictures. You understand? I know which part I had the record of the number plate. A white garbage truck, clean. Does leave Cedros and go to Port of Spain. Sometimes 2 trips for the week it does make. That is what going on now. And the residents would call me and tell me, boy, this is what going on here. Now we can't stop the truck. Yesterday we followed the truck up to San Fernando. A white garbage truck, it have no writing on it. That's no that separate incident. But right now, if you go up on Google, type up the police van that's sink in the sand, and you go realize, wait now, this is them fellas and them was there on a drug to do a drug move. And there are several people that could talk that. But the thing about it is this, here how it does operate. Anytime you bring these things in the public domain, that shift the burden of proof. That I say, all right, you're saying that, well, bring evidence. Sometimes, Samuel L. Jackson would have said something, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Sometimes you don't really know it, but people, eyewitness account, the ruling out that and all in Trinidad is a corrupted scene.
So you think the police is turning the other, let me say, turning their eyes the other way? The police don't know.
Of course.
Oh, you think they turn in
Of
that?
course, I say that without a shadow of a doubt because I sure I'm not the first person to tell about that concerning that incident and other things.
So you
understand what I'm saying?
You think they know?
So it could be that the decent police are in fear for their own safety.
Could be. Some of them, I believe some of them is in fear of their own safety.
Yes, exactly.
So Renison, what is as far as Mrs. Edwards is concerned, what are you guys going to try to get out of this conference on Thursday? What are you guys looking to get out of that?
What we are going to do is this, that we're working with Mr. Edwards here. We're going to pen a letter as to deliver it. Even serve the commissioner and come to the conference. I believe that we should deliver this to the commissioner and have her take let me say, an active approach to what is taking place. And if something adverse has to come out, I believe in this situation, but because we would have taken advice from people, from other people that in law enforcement, as to bring this to the attention to these various ministries, as the Minister of National Security, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, the Commissioner of Police, and even Rowley, because he does boast and say he's the head of the Security Council. So when we would have sent these letters and these things to these various ministries and let me say something adverse would have taken place, I believe that would be criminal negligence in concordance to what we would have, the advice that we would have gotten from the lawyers and them.
But go ahead, Tommy.
Now, how are we sure that Thursday's meeting is not a horse and pony show?
Well, I mean, it could be. It could very well be a horse and pony show. But the thing about it is that even if they income the meeting, we could still deliver the letter to them. And if that is, I mean, if they're trying to take it on, we have social media, we have platforms in which we could share these information. And Miss Edwards would have said, I mean, today she would have said she can't take it again. She mind going in front of the office and protest if it's she alone. And we, the workers' rights team, are going to join her there. If it had to reach that.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when we did this story with CNC, right, all the young men came out and they said what was their altercation, what they had with Lamuel Cortez, right? The officers and other officers of the task force. Right, these fellas and them, you actually hear them talking, and some of them, you see the tears in the eye because they have been under oppression from these officers for so long, who he would have given cases upon cases for no reason. You understand? Some who probably deserved it as well, because it have good and it have bad. And when we expected to see it on everything what we said on CNC3 News, they cut it up.
Wow.
They didn't share the whole thing at all. They did not share it. Not that I'm looking for fame to be on camera, I wanted the whole of Trinidad and Tobago to hear my cry, because I saw that gentleman, what he did. So if I didn't see him, I would have never go on social media and say anything or make up any story. I saw him, and other people saw him too. You understand? And I didn't expect it while we were there. I didn't expect those other young men to come out and say all of that, You understand? Them just see the camera crew, and I come to tell my story, and they just come around. Because I had one or two people with my little placard, right? And the others just chime in, and they started to say what Lamuel Cortez and other officers of the Sandy Grande Task Force were doing to them. And all kind of things started to belch out. You understand? And it is his alleged, underworld people, and everything started out in the open. So we was expecting, when everybody saw the news, who was there, they felt hurt. They felt like no hope, because if we reached out to the Trinidad and Tobago, our government, right, to tell them what we are going through, what we are facing under the TTPS of Trinidad and Tobago, and they cut it up, everybody feel. It's like they're muzzling the thing. They don't want it to go out there. And this is what the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is going through. We are Trinidadians, and we are going through problems with the people who they put to govern the land. You understand me? So it was real heartbreaking and for me because I felt sad. I felt hopeless.
Miss Edwards,
You understand what I
yeah, Miss
Yes,
Edwards and
sir.
Renison. Is it, and it appears that is he a sergeant? Is he a, what is he?
He's a
Cortez.
SRP.
Okay.
Cortez is a SRP police officer.
Okay. Does it appear that the SRP Cortez maybe a rogue police officer? I'm just asking.
Well, that is what everybody's saying because I mean to say, so everybody can lie on you. Everybody's calling the name and they have different instances. So that is why when I made the live, I said, listen to me, you all are trained officers. Come in, send intelligent people to come in and do a proper investigation, right? And upon doing so, all they will be able to define goat from sheep. We are not saying that they have no, it might have no gang, or we might say not everybody is innocent. You understand? But you all are the one that is trained to investigate and do inquiries, and and you all are not doing that. What they're doing now, and this is a thing I see they start doing. They're labeling everybody as gang members. So if they come to your house, they kick down your door and they kill you, or they give you drugs and ammunition, they're labeling you as a gang member. So I think, Mr. Wilson, I don't know if you could advise me on that. I think they have passed a law for gang members.
I ain't really too accurate, but Wall Street is a research of Wall Street. Where I don't know if that passed yet.
All right.
What is that? If what passed?
Or the anti-gang law, I don't know.
I ain't sure, I go look it up. I ain't sure.
Right. So they keep labeling everybody as gang members. So my son keep coming home and when he keep telling me, mommy, them telling me I'm a gang. Mommy, I know no gang. My son working, right? And I just monitor. I as one mother, I just monitor my children. You understand me? I don't make joke. I come in school and give you a cocktail. I meeting you wherever. Once you're doing foolishness, I embarrassing you right there because once you're shaming, any shame of yours is a shame of mine, right? And I just monitor my son, not because he's doing foolishness. So my son working, he leaving home in the morning, he coming back home late in the night. By the time he come home, sometimes I think he can't even bathe properly. He just bathe, eat, and go in his bed. Work next day, he working Monday to Saturday. If my son, I'm not taking from a son, but I just observe my children. If my son was in a gang, let me say under low, well, he had to be Superman because a gang banger just move all over the night. You understand me? You just move all over the night. You just be moving shady. And he going to work, coming home Saturday when he get a little salary, you come, mommy, well, hold this. I mean to say, as a mother, I may not know everything, but I just out there and everybody know me. Somebody must have come and tell me something. That is why I went to the officer and I asked him, I said, hey, what's going on? I don't know nothing, But if all you have any intelligence that my son is in a gang, let me know so I could help deal with the situation because me and make no gang banger. I didn't go in the station saying, my son I no gang. And like some mothers, they know they're training wrong, wrongdoing, and they're taking for them. No, I am not doing that. And that morning, when my son, after they beat him and I was standing for station corridor, I saw that same officer. And I asked him to speak to him. He told me, give him an hour. And that man disappeared and never see him again.
Well, let me say this, right? I just looked it up. Trinidad and Tobago have passed several anti-gang laws in recent years to combat the problems of gang violence and crime. The most recent one is the Anti-Gang Act 2021, which was assented to on April 28, 2021. This act makes it an offense to be a member of a gang, to participate in or support gang activities, to possess a bulletproof vest, to recruit persons to a gang, or to harbor or conceal gang members. The act also gives the police more powers to arrest, detain, and charge suspected gang members, and impose harsher penalties for gang-related offenses. The act is expected to come into effect upon proclamation. So I don't think it's it has been yet, right? But there is an anti-gang act.
But if it's not proclaimed, then it's not law.
Yeah, wait. Well, yeah, I was just looking it up because I didn't know.
But,
Well, you see, that is information for me now, because all they're saying is a gang, they come in with a search warrant, they're kicking down your door, and I want to believe, and the same young man that is alleged that they said the police kill him, it is alleged, I wasn't there. They say he was in a gang, the news plaster him as a gang member, and the mother is saying different. I'm not living in the house, so I can't say, I can't quote on that as much. But when they come for you, they're saying you're in a gang, you're in a gang. Yeah, so the fact that you're in a gang, they could do what they want.
Yes.
Based on Mr. Edwards' story, you could be assured that there are hundreds of people probably in the same predicament who don't want to speak up because of fear.
Yeah,
but it's clear that the biggest gang that there is the TTPS.
Yeah, because tell me this. All right, they're holding these, some of them, there is alleged gang members in police uniform, in soldier uniform, in bulletproof vest. Where they getting it from? That is something you don't go in a store and buy.
Yeah.
You don't buy that in the store. So they have to be getting it from the police. The police partner lend them it to go and put on a walk. You understand it? No, the thing is that we're not here bashing the police, because we need them to protect us, But you see the things that they are doing, they had to straighten up. And you see that body cam, I feel if they implement and force them to wear a body cam, it will save their lives and a lot of people's lives.
Yeah,
but they don't want that body cam.
No, they don't want. And as I read this act, and there's a paragraph that says the act also gives police more powers to arrest, detain, and charge suspected gang members and impose harsher penalties for gang-related offenses. Right? The act is expected to come into effect upon proclamation. So just the act alone, they could brand you as a gang member and they can go after you, even though they have no proof.
And it's not proclaimed. It's not proclaimed and they're doing it. What for when it's proclaimed?
Just imagine. Yeah? It's not proclaimed and they're doing it now. Much less for when it actually becomes law. What will happen?
Well then people going and die. And that is what they're trying to stigmatize my son with, being in a gang. And many other young men in the back here. Because listen to me, I heard one or two of the young men in the when we were doing the interview with CNC3. And the young man turned and he said, if we are in gang, would we come on TV and show our faces? Really? And in my mind, I said, well, that make a little sense to me, because I'm not no professional. Right. I said, if they're really in gang and they're committing crime and they're doing foolishness, they wouldn't come on television and show their faces.
Renison, I think we need to speak to one or two of those individuals too as well, because
Thursday, well, we did plan to go up there today, but we say, when I talk to the rest of the team, we say we will kill two birds with one stone, because what them young men and them is saying, it frightening me and all.
Yeah, that's right.
It frightening me. Yeah, because them coming out playing and they're afraid, they're coming out and saying that this man giving them drugs system, this man want them to take, this man and they call a name. Because look, sister, the sister they have it on she TikTok, where she would have taped the whole thing. Although CNC3 was taping, somebody else like that was taping it and she put it up on TikTok.
You should send it for
and
us.
Send it for us. All the evidence there, and it's frightening to me. It's real frightening.
But Renison, go ahead.
Those young men and them, because they started talk, and it had me then and there on the spot when they started talk. For a minute, I go to tell them hush, and censor the conversation, but they don't care. They say they're fed up. They are fed up, and they're coming out and talk.
Well, we have to watch. You see, this is what has drive me to continually do what it is doing. And you too, Wall Street, have to understand your position in this. What Trinidad so small. When CNC3 and them come, we know for a fact. You know that to Wall Street politician that's buy stories, that's buy certain stories, because at that time that Pandey in times past, when I say if you think put the X on the Balije, Pandey say that. And I don't want to go into that. Let me leave that alone. But politicians just buy back stories from the media and what them want to face it in the public light. Some of these big mainstream media censor certain stories. So what we are doing here on social media is bridging that gap, in which we actually giving people a voice to come out here and say what I have to say, because look what's going on here. Watch how long we on this interview here. If this was CNPP, this done cut long time Wall Street, you know that.
It gone through long time.
What you doing here is a blessing to the people. We'll either be doing, and other people doing the same thing. And
we are so grateful.
We can't be frightened. We have to continue to talk.
And you see, the thing about it is that we are trying to get stories out that the mainstream media in Trinidad and Tobago they want to touch it, but when they touch it, they go slice it up. So when time comes for them to get government contracts, it doesn't affect their contracts, because we have to be honest, you know. Them is customers of the government too, you know. So them coming and do a story, and when they go back and the big man look at it, the big man go tell them, you see that part? You can't put that part in. You have to leave that part out. But with us, what you see is what you get. We ain't cutting up nothing.
It's truth to power. It's truth to power.
You know that not cut up here.
No, we ain't
we just give them it raw.
we just give them it like it is. That's why I would like to hear other voices too. And the more voices, the more people go understand, yes, there's a problem in Sandy Grande. We have a problem. Right?
Yeah, but look like we have a nationwide problem.
Well, correct is right, Tommy. We have a nationwide problem. But you know what, Tommy? It takes something like this in order to wake up the commissioner of police. Yeah?
Do you think this will really make a difference?
Yeah, it could make a difference.
Well, let's hope.
And the reason why
we're going with faith.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that, Tommy, is because there are many more incidents like this that people just stay quiet.
You see,
yes,
the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because there's no assurance that we're gonna get someone of authority to be in Thursday's meeting. That's what's disturbing me. We're not hearing no confirmation that assistant commissioner or the commissioner or someone of rank is going to be there.
But Tommy, I wanted to say, right, Frederick Douglass says power concedes nothing without a demand.
I agree.
You in this day and age, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, you can't sit down and feel that you tell them something and them go all of a sudden come and do what they have. You have to demand it, you know.
You have to demand it that they show up.
Yeah, you have to demand it. And these people, in my estimation, all of them need a wake-up call. All of them.
But
you understand?
The population has to know the reason why the crime situation is in the state it is because of these rogue and errant police officers.
Yep.
And we have to point them out.
Until they start to turn on them now, because one or two police they dropping down now, you know.
And not only that, Mr. Edwards, but we have to point them out by name. You have to point them out.
Name.
You have to call the name.
Name and shame.
Yes, and you see what it is? Or you could let us call a name. We out here, we call all of them names. Our sources have indicated that. You understand?
Name them and shame them.
Yes, sources have indicated that SRP Cortez in the Sandy Grande police station, a pay staff done so and so. Right? We would like the commissioner of police, right, to investigate it. And you post it all over social media, TikTok, Instagram, everything. It go all over the place. And it go get back
with
to
a
them.
picture too. With a picture too.
Of course. And listen, it had to start somewhere. You don't have to see all the flights in the steps, you know, in the staircase, you know. You only have to see the first flight. Right? And this is considered the first flight of you guys in Sandy Grande having your kids live in peace. In peace.
Yeah, we need that. We need it. We need
to live in peace.
I even asked them for the community communities to get involved. For a long time, they used to do that when you have a little problem in the neighborhood. The police coming, community police was coming and they will go from house to house, or they would have auditorium where people would come and they would keep little meetings and they will try and do things for the youths and nothing is that is happening again, And in the back where we live here is a big community. It's not until when we went up in the back there, went to do this interview with CNC, I realized how much houses, how much people in the back there. And we need that. So instead of the police coming up in the back here, and it is alleged that they're dealing in drugs and victimizing people, why not try to become one with the community? You don't have to be a big bad wolf. You don't have to be a big bad wolf and you're like Master Days, you have a stick, or in this instance, they have a gun over people's head. Try to become one with the community. You don't have to be friendly and kiss up, but become one with the community and your work will be even easier.
So Ms. Edwards and Renison, what I hear in the community of Sandy Grande is calling for, they are calling for an investigation into SRP Cortez and is dealing with the kids in Sandy Grande. There are accusations of certain nefarious activities going on that may involve SRP Cortez that the Commissioner of Police, Abdulah, have to look into why certain kids are being targeted in the community. That's what I'm seeing here. And
their lives are being threatened too because they approached my son with a knife. They almost killed him in front of the station.
Tommy, you wanted to say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and we want, and listener, Renison and Miss Edwards, if there are kids who are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, we want the police to take care of them too. But
exactly,
we don't want the police. Yeah. We don't want the police to be going after kids who are not doing anything, but because they may not want to do what the police want them to do, they become a target. We don't want that.
Yeah,
exactly. Because eventually these kids are going to turn out the way that they want them to be.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. So Renison, what we want to do, we want to do a continuation of this on Thursday. I don't care if we pick up the whole program. We running this thing here.
Yeah, we will. I will definitely get in contact with you.
Yeah.
And here we're going to happen. We go run it live. We run this whole town hall meeting.
We go do
this
it
whole
live.
thing at the run live. People have to see what's going on.
Right. We go do it live and we go share it on all our different platforms that we on as well. You understand? And we go get this thing out that whether they send Abdulah Christopher, but eventually an investigation will have to be done in Sandy Grande Police and any of the road cops in Sandy Grande Police Station. They're going to have to do something about it. Yeah?
Exactly.
So exactly.
Yeah, man.
My point exactly.
Well, Wall Street, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Although others come and share my views sometime in between, it's always a pleasure. Yeah. I would like to say good night to your audience today too.
Yeah, man.
And listening, I know this program here, a lot of people don't listen.
No, I know, we know that.
Yeah. I know that.
And Thursday, we have a date. We go stream it and we go share people and let people, and listener, Renison, you and Miss Edwards have to tell people, all the listener, all you have to come out and this is all your community, This is your community, right? And sometimes you have to take a stand, but if you don't stand for anything, you go fall for anything. You have to take a stand. Yeah?
Yeah, because what we're trying to do, young lady and I, we're trying to now in the back they have a lot of poor people, so we're trying to see if we could get a maxi, raise funds or do something to get a maxi on Thursday, so we could have people be transported to the venue where they're keeping the town meeting and back.
Okay. All right. So Renison, let me talk off air, right? When we finish.
All right then. Well, thanks, Wall. Should we go talk again?
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
bye.
Bye.
Sad. Very sad.
Tommy.
It's a sad place.
Tommy, I think people will say, well, maybe the son was doing this and the son was doing that. we can't really come to them conclusions, because we know for a fact, Judy says Valencia Police Department too. We know for a fact, right, Tommy, that there are rogue cops in Trinidad and Tobago. And it only have to take a few bad apples in a police station to spoil the whole bunch,
Look like they're much more than a few. Honest to Christ, because when you really think about it, if there was just a few, they would have been able to hone them in quicker than that. Obviously, people in authority are done with the program too.
Yeah, I just think that this is what should happen. In my estimation, Tommy, when an incident like that happen, the police should do an investigation and let the chips fall where they may. If there's a rogue police officer doing things, you have to weed them out. If there are kids who are doing illegal things, you have to weed them out too. So it's not one side of the coin, it's both sides. Both sides. But and I think what's important, Tommy, is that our platform is a platform for that type of information. You know why? Because we don't have to answer to anybody. We don't have to answer to any politicians. Because it have some people in the media had to answer to politicians. And they're going to say, boy.
And we operate in an environment where there's free press.
Free press. Really free press. Truly free press. True free press. And we don't have to answer to other people saying, boy, hey, listen, that fella, he talking bad about we, boy. We have to find a way, if you don't do something with that fella, you mightn't get ads from we, You ain't gonna get no ads, Tommy. You understand? Because that fella saying things, boy. He's stirring up too much things. You see? So, anyway, folks, that wasn't something that was planned. It just happened. And the other thing is this. If you guys have stories that you want to bring out and you want to highlight, that's what we're here for. We are here to help the country get better. If we could weed out a few rogue police officers, it will make the country better. The people in Sandy Grande will feel more comfortable if they are going to the police station, Tommy, to make reports. Tommy, why will I go make a report to a person who, I know you're rogue, right? And when I go into the police station, you taking my report. Me won't give you no report. Because when I give you my report, next thing other people know what I already give you. Something had to change, Tommy. Things had to change. It just can't continue this way.
Nope.
It can't. It just can't. You know what I mean? And it is. And look, Judy says Valencia Police Station too.
And I'm sure if we do some investigation, we'll find much more than those two.
I wouldn't be surprised, Tommy, if COP, welcome.
Good night to you all, Streeter.
Good night to you.
And good night to you, Uncle Tony.
Good night.
Good night to the
good night,
listeners. This program, listeners all over the world. As a citizen of Trinidad, I really do appreciate when we hear them foreigners and them calling and speak on behalf of this country. I give all a 10 out of 10 for that. Because we really need assistance, help in this country. But what you expect from a police service when we supposed to have independent organization in the police service to choose inspector and commissioner of police and the politicians just put their hand in that and the politician them had to choose. You expect that process alone corrupt. And it's not now we having rogue police officers in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We having that years now. Years, decades we having that. And
as a citizen, if the UNC in office, the PNM people them speak about it. And if the PNM in office, the UNC people them speak about it. You see, it's a set of sick people living in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, people who don't care. But how independence come? Independence come by citizens of the country just speaking on behalf of one government alone and classify that as independence. When you look for the past 10 years in Trinidad and Tobago, we have over 20 something police killing, and those investigations still going on. And you hear all kind of things, police just getting off just so, and case throw off. That is corruption. But mothers and fathers doesn't look at it that way. We look for the past 48 hours in Trinidad and Tobago. We have over 6 murders for the past 48 hours. And we classify that. We have people just call and say this is PNM country. This is PNM country. If you accept that, hey, when you see I speaking on national radio, you behave yourself, eh? Yeah? Yeah. Mothers and fathers. Wall Street has 7 shepherds. I have 7 shepherds. Them dogs and them is like, oh gosh.
Yeah, does mine dogs? 7?
Yeah, I love animals.
Oh, okay.
I love animals. It costs me at least $1,700 a month to see how those dogs and them.
What's your pay the inside? The inside or the outside?
Well, my place, Barong, during the day, they in the kennel, during the night, they run around the yards and protect the yard, no?
Oh, okay, all right. You know, in America, we just have a
No,
dog.
protect the yards.
We just have a dog inside. In America, there's a dog inside the house. I know you.
Yeah, well, there is no dogs always have the one there. Always have some kind of big dog. Always have horse and grading. But Wall Street, it's really sad. It's really sad to see the governance that we accept in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
COP,
it
I don't mean
no
to cut
country.
you. COP, I don't mean to cut you. COP, no joking, no boy. It's like we people in Trinidad seem to accept the lowest of the lowest boy form of governance. You know?
The lowest.
It's like
you get this
man.
is not even governance. It's not even governance. Is wickedness and vindictive thinking, is cravacious people just looking to laugh at everything and understanding that what they're laughing supposed to be for the future of this country. They're not studying that at all. The resources of this land supposed to be the beneficiary of for the future of the country, you know. Not the politicians and them who created empires, you know. Look when the People's Partnership was over there. Jack Warner say it have people who could not even buy a doubles, and today they're buying cars and all them things, right? And the PNM side condemn. Yes, that is truth. Today we see ministers buying 4 or 5 luxury vehicle, Porsche, and all them kind of thing, renting buildings all over, and we not even saying, hey, there is a conflict of interest. That extra money that they benefiting from, that's supposed to be in the future of this country. That's how we get school bill, we get road fix. That the money is supposed to be doing that. I can now understand why all the schools are them dilapidated so, why the roads are them dilapidated so. So this is not governance. This is wicked and vindictive thinking. This is evil. This is evil, Wall Street. Wall Street, they don't have a ministry in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and citizens all over the world. It don't have a ministry in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago where the citizens benefit from. None. The government first responsibility as a government is to secure the life of the citizens of this country. That is our democracy. And they fail miserably and create opportunity for the citizens of this country. What opportunity to have for us here? Eh? None. They cuss the Mahasara boasting and say, look, we had 270 something school like 20 something years ago. And boast, and they don't like the Mahasaba, they racist and this. But none of the African community can say, well, look, we have one, and look, we have two there, look, we have three over there. And you're supporting a party for 60 something years. For 60 something years, who to blame? The PNM helped the Mahasaba build half of that school and funding for every one of those schools, and them, the PNM fund them, give them funding, taxpayers' money, help them. And these people and then will call and say, all right, you help, thanks for helping. But what about us? What about we? We school need fixing too. And these mothers and fathers just don't care about that. They boasting and say, let the government giving out assistance in agriculture. Wall Street, you look and see who the assistant in agriculture. None of them will look like Keith Rowley. None of them will look like you. Out of 150 or something, you might see 2-3 of them look like you to color code it. But them thing not fair.
Listen to this. I heard a fella call a program, and I think Heavy asked him, name three projects that the PNM have done for black people over the last 9 years. He started with one, was the project with Foster Cummins with the agriculture thing and the land and thing.
Yeah.
Right? And you know what happened after that? Eh?
The next one is that the drop tax.
Yeah. You know,
the next one was the drop tax.
But COP, if you defending a party by any means necessary, you should have about 5 things on the top of your head to run it off like that, like that. The man couldn't come up with two.
And the man done.
Oh,
he done, sir. Every tax in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago going up. All tax. They just raise tax on everybody. So how he could say all tax drop? He did done, sir. They done. So if Heavy did ask him what school he went to, he would have said standard 6 or standard 7. But let me ask you this question, Wall Street, right?
Yeah.
Wall Street, it's not fair. If I work in for the Ministry of Works, right, as a contractor, right, I expect not to get my money one time, right? But the workers who are working for me, and I had to pay them every week, or every fortnight, or every month.
But listen to this. I don't understand how you working, you putting in your hard-earned labor, and they're telling you, well, listen now, you go get your little earners at the end next month. If you the contractor, and you hire people, when them finish do the work, you have to pay them.
Give them the money and you wait for your money.
They're not supposed to be
and
waiting.
You wait for your money.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be waiting until you get your money. And then when you get your money, you pay them. As soon as they finish the work, you tell them, all right, I'll come tomorrow. And I'll get all your money.
I'll get your money.
You have to
because
wait.
use the employer. Use the employer and them as the workers.
And you make an excuse for that.
And you know what's sad about that too? It's now 100 workers to say, well, all right, I don't have that money one time. You're owing people for a little 2-3 days. So people pick up bottle and all kind of thing at the side of the road for carnival. You understand? All down south over here, Princestown. The fella who get the work in Princestown, I don't remember his name. He do that. He the same Tuesday night. Look your money, and people them getting the money. All in San Fernando, look your money, and the people them getting money. So it's only PNM contractors can pay the people and them. Only PNM contractors supporting our government for 9 years. And you tell me you can't have $900. How much a man will work for? For $900 or $2,000 for that 3 days? Because it's about $2,000 they're supposed to pay somebody for 3 days taking up all them to clean up water Spain. Don't tell me they go and pay people minimum wage. Don't tell me they're paying people minimum wage to take up all them rubbish and thing in Port of Spain.
And just
A man supposed to at least get a little $2,000.
and see, just before you go, it just goes to show you that many black people in Trinidad and Tobago, right, they suffer for scrums, right? They
accept nothing.
Scrums, not even crumbs. It's scrums. That's what they accept, and they expect other people to accept scrums too. And that's why we need.
But other people want to become independent. Other people want to create opportunities for the children, and then other people want a good future. Other people just do what PNM alone, PNM have nothing to offer them. Nothing to offer them. Yes, PNM until you're there. You cost Kamala, all Kamala family and them wealthy and independent. And if somebody work for them, they pay them one time. All more rural, Mulilal family, them independent. And if somebody work for them, they pay them one time. And we only know to cost these people and them.
See, your piece always a pleasure,
Giddy boy money, man. Yeah. Giddy boy money and don't make a man wait 3 weeks for 3 days pay. Yeah. That's worse than you are pay. Thank you, Wall Street. Uncle Tony.
Good night, COP, and thank you for your contribution.
You know, Tommy, you know, Tommy, and we having David Abdulah coming up. Tommy, can you imagine that? You get a little NS for carnival. That's why I call it a NS, you know. You get a little NS now.
Yep.
You understand? You get a little thing. And the contractor who hire you, telling you, well, you know, me have no money, you know. I can't pay you now. I had to wait till I get paid to pay you. Is that the way it's supposed to work, Tommy?
Not.
So, Tommy, if I'm a contractor and I give you a day's work, right? And I tell you, well, you know, you got to wait till I get paid, you know, for you to get paid. What kind of business is that? What kind of contractor are you? So, I was going to say I was going to change the M. Put the word just after C. You know, tell me, we just settle for dregs, you know. Dregs, you know.
Yeah, that's why the things that are happening in Sangari could happen, because nobody would nip it in the bud, and the law is a law unto itself. Not only that, the judicial is in cahoots with them. The whole thing is just a mess, a messy situation.
When is it gonna get better? Tommy, your good friend Mean Gene Julian just came in, and he said he wanted to give an advice to Miss Edwards. Asked to speak to the inspector in charge of the station.
How much time she said she did that?
Tommy, oh God, Tommy.
Obviously, he didn't hear her. He wasn't listening to when she said that she made an attempt to do that.
Oh God, boy. Tommy, I don't know what to do with my friend, boy. I'm my friend or no? He's my friend.
Maybe he listens while listening to other things, so he has to share his hair.
Oh God, Tommy, you say that Mean Gene Julian caught a listening? He caught a listening?
Well, he maybe listened to several programs at one time. So it's air share.
Oh God! Oh God!
He didn't hear when Miss Edwards said that she tried to go to the highest authority at Sangari Station, and they gave her what they gave her, and it's all one big charade.
Tommy, I don't know. I don't know, but there's a possibility, Tommy, that there could be some type of deficit there, you know? I don't know what to say. let me go for the break, Tommy. We be right back, folks. It's In the Village with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street and you on WZYE.
Get up and stretch.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
This is oh Lord, Trinidad and Tobago. This is DJ Bravo. I'm hurting you know. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderator sin another body in a drain. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. And next road stain with somebody's sunburn. Who take the S out of Port of Spain? This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. Now with the love, with the vibes, with the hope. Now tell me something, how we really want we cope. When the children breathing in too much gun smoke. And the Coast Guard can never see a boat. Yes, I'm going like some goats when they come looking for votes. With the empty promises, reading like a horoscope. Justice for sale in a fat envelope. Politically, all the answers is a joke. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderator sin another body in a drain. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. And next road stain with somebody's sunburn. Who take the S out of Port of Spain? This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. It doesn't matter the religion, the color, the creed, or the race. It's our responsibility to take care of our place. Champion.
Please
of course, we are back with you. It's In the Village with yours truly, Professor Walshin and Uncle Tommy on WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course, folks, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube page on WZYE TV on YouTube. So whenever we go live, you'll get the notice. You can also like our page on WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook. And of course, you can reach us here at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444.
Or 973-609-6509 or 973-609-6509.
And Tommy, thank you. You know, Tommy, you see what's up on the screen, right?
Mean Gene. Let me put on my glasses because I can't seem to read it. Okay, he didn't hear. He was offering a suggestion. Okay. He must have come in late.
Okay. All right. So let's say welcome to Miss Plus Size Universe International. Where are you joining us from? Good night, guys. All the best with your program tonight. Oh, you know that might be Pearl, you know.
Oh, yes.
I want to think that's Pearl. Pearl, welcome.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's her.
Yeah, Miss Plus Size Universe. Because Pearl puts on that Miss Plus Size Universe.
That's true, yeah.
A big thing, you know. Tommy,
Night,
you know, there's all kind of information, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a release that supposedly came from the UNC, but it was fake news. Right? And here's what it says. Sandy Grandi. Hey, look, Sandy Grandi name come up again, buddy.
What it says?
Sandy Grandi, United National Congress Constituency Executives, condemns the statement by Kamala Prasad Busesa suggesting Basdio Pandey treated supporters as sheep. It was fake news. We're not going to read anymore. All right?
Right.
Right? Yeah. So that was fake news because this was posted on one WhatsApp group, and then another WhatsApp group sent something else saying that it's fake news. So, I mean, if it's not AI, it's whatever it is.
It's misinformation.
Highly said, well, Tommy, we know we have some PNM activists known for misleading information, right?
Well, yeah, read what you were reading.
If we did have the record of slaves murdered by the plantation owner, then we can compare it with how much Trinidadians murdered Trinidadians after slavery. I feel the result will shock us. Answer? Nah. What do you think, Tommy? Nah. I don't think they could compare.
I can't even believe he went there.
What do you mean? Why you can't believe he went there?
How relevant is that to what we're talking about?
I mean, I think he's talking about murders. I know we wasn't talking about murders, but
we're talking about police brutality. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I think highly pick up the glass. Mean Gene Julian Padong.
Is our guest backstage yet?
No, not yet. I gotta call him. The ancestors have to be very angry and disgusted by the future Trinidadians have created. It's sad, yes. So Kira, where you joining us from? Kira, Mary Ange. There has to be more to that story with the mother and son. But that's why I asked the pertinent question regarding what type of person he was.
You have to know. There's no way you can mistake a police sympathizer in using. I'm trying to use impeccable words here. Because that's what it is. Nothing that someone says that incriminates the police is clear. Something has to be wrong. Something, they just couldn't be telling the truth. No matter how you slice it.
Them is who Fitzgerald and them should be given lie detector tests.
Exactly.
You understand? When you get a person like that fella in Sandy Grande, for example, very innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yeah.
Come and take a lie detector test now.
Yep.
Take a lie detector test. What's the big deal?
Give the police give the policeman the lie detector test also.
Yeah, the policeman I talking about. Is the policeman I talking about getting the lie detector test, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, I don't know, you know. We had Anderson in earlier.
I saw him earlier.
We have Kira now. Kira says this is Anderson's wife. I confuse her. And she says that this is Akira. I just left out the A at the start of my name. This is Akira. I thought Akira and Anderson split up. Let me know any people business. Yeah, sorry. Let me stay out of that.
But even regardless of what, she's still his wife. And
you know, point well taken, Tommy.
So don't think too much into anything. You thought your thoughts don't matter.
Tommy, oh God, Tommy, look. It's a good thing, you know. Tommy, it's a good thing. I say, you know what? Let me stay out of this. Look what she write.
What's that?
You know she write.
We made back Wall Street. Love is too strong to end. Congratulations. Give her a round of applause there.
Yeah, let me give you a round of applause.
Yeah, give Kira a round of applause.
Yeah,
She's a good woman.
She's
a good woman. She's a good woman.
Yeah. We give you a round of applause for that.
Her best was says that's bold and beautiful. She thought they was divorced. Caribbean Soul.
Oh God! Oh
Caribbean Soul.
Hey, Caribbean Soul. Stay out of the people business, eh? Stay out of Kira and Anderson business, eh?
You getting like Wall Street now.
I say not of that. Not me, no. I leave in my partner Anderson boy. I say not of that. Yeah. He said, Eiley says the police killed 3 people Carnival Friday live on social media. Okay. I didn't see that.
And guess what? Nothing comes out of it. That's why it keeps happening, and it's going to continue happening as long as nothing comes out of it.
Correct is right. Yeah?
Because people don't stand up for nothing, then they'll fall for anything.
Mm-hmm. Let me try to call this guy, Tommy. See if he's going to come. He tell me he was going to be in a meeting. Give me a minute, all right?
Go ahead. Let me read in the chat and see what's going on. Oh, nothing since Caribbean Soul.
The call went to voicemail. So Tommy, at least actually 4 people because the woman was pregnant. Okay.
Wow.
4 people, right? Tommy, this is the video I wanted to play here, and I want to I want to get your take on this.
Go ahead.
And I
Roll,
know you are
roll the
going
clip.
to.
Roll the clip.
Yeah, let me get that clip there. All right, not that. Tommy, before I play that,
Mm-hmm.
did you see the video with the farmers protesting in Europe?
Did I see that? I think that's a few days now, no?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to show people how in different countries, how real protesters happen. Eh? Not a little fly-by-night protest. Watch this. This is in Europe.
Now or after lunch, so if you could share it as soon as possible. Yeah. Thanks. Nick, do you have anything to add?
Yep. They're going down fighting.
They're going down fighting, man.
Yep. Yep.
We protesting. Yeah. We ever any type of protest like that in Trinidad before?
The kind of fear that the people have of the law enforcement wouldn't allow them to have a real protest like that.
What do you mean?
I said what I said. I said the people fear the law enforcement. They wouldn't try to push to the limit like that.
Okay. So Tommy, here is the statement by Mrs. Kamala Prasad Besessa. I want you to listen to this.
Many of you receiving valuation forms now have asked me to say a few words about it. Minister of Finance, we're getting a lot of messages and calls from property owners about what rate they have to pay for this property tax. You remember when Rowley told you that all that property tax was to cost was less than a dinner mint a day? Do we have that clip when Rowley told us it will cost you less than a dinner mint a day? Rowley, property tax less than a dinner mint. Well, I don't know which dinner mint selling for that. $3. I don't know. So he told us it would cost less than a dinner mint a day. Well, those are some very expensive dinner mints, I must say. I warn you all, St. Joseph will have some of the higher rates in this country. And this is the same man who was not closing down Petratory, remember? This is Mr. Emil Gate. This is Mr. Merritt List for the Commissioner of Police. Just remember always, voting has consequences. DPL John always tells us that. Elections have consequences. So when into 9 years now, everybody's suffering, then you know voting, remember, St. Joseph. You have one of the worst health ministers here as well. The convent girl, I'm told. Is that the minister? I'm told this. All right, Arnold. Never came to Aranguez. Okay, sir. Your UNC government will scrap this wicked tax. Next year, you know, you're going to have a triple whammy. You're going to have property tax to pay. You're going to have to pay electricity and water. Well, there's a fourth one you didn't think about. Ask Neil Gosain. Increased insurance rates on your properties. So 4 price increases for one homeowner in the new year. Look, Alim is saying the same thing with insurance. So that's a classic definition of really callous leadership. Cold-hearted government, insensitive, unsuited for office, with any kind of leadership that...
Tommy, I want to go directly to our next guest, who has joined us. Mr. David Abdulah, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening. Good evening to you. Thank you for having me on, sir. My apologies. I was trying to get in a little while ago, but you know, we had some difficulties making all the menu connections. So I was there and I didn't realize I had to scroll down and click another thing to get in. So my apologies. I should have joined you 10 minutes ago.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Abdullah.
Good evening.
You know, David, I saw the article in the Guardian, wrong table to submit crime report to PM this week, right? And I'm asking myself, when I read that headline, I'm asking, was David Abdulah on some kind of commission and they are submitting a crime report to the Prime Minister?
I hear you. I hear you.
No, seriously. That's what I said to myself. I said, well, you know what? Let me call David and find out about this wrong table to submit crime report. Tell us a little bit. Because, you know, the headline was, I was like, I don't remember him putting David Abdulah on a committee.
Well, you know, I've served on very many committees over the years. This government did appoint me in 2015 to the Economic Development Advisory Board in late 2015 after the September elections. And of course, that collapsed in 2018, I think it was, 2017 actually. And then in 2017, I was also appointed to a committee to review Petrotrin, which was probably called the Lashley Committee, which committee never recommended the closure of Petrotrin, but that's another story.
David, why did the first committee collapse?
Because the Prime Minister never took our recommendations seriously. You know, we were working. The chair was Dr. Terence Farrell, highly respected economist, and there were a lot of other well-known economists, Dr. Marlene.
Isn't he a former central bank governor as well?
He was former deputy governor of the central bank.
Okay,
yeah.
Deputy governor. Okay.
Yeah, and then you had Professor Carl Theodore, who was, you know, a former retired professor at UE, now heads the health economics unit at university. Dr. Marlene Atz, Dr. Ronald Ramkisoon. Ronald was a student at UE with me. Professor Theodore actually taught me a couple of courses at university in the early 70s and so on. Ronald retired as head of the economics unit of Republic Bank. So, you know, you had a lot of key people on it. And others joined, you know, we brought on others into the discussion. And Dr. Farrell, on behalf of the board, submitted, you know, memorandum for eyes only of the Prime Minister because we were supposed to report to the PM. And we just never got any responses. And Terry got frustrated and resigned. And then we were waiting to see whether another chair would be appointed, where there would be some response. And after about a month and a half, and there was no reaction to the chairman's resignation, I then resigned, and then everybody else resigned afterwards, and that was the end of Solomon Grundy. Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you know, it kind of surprised me, David, that you have these esteemed professionals and a report is submitted, and you basically put the report in the disposable garbage.
Yeah, and you know, not even an acknowledgement to the email and the memorandum. You know, you know, if you said, if the chair got back reply saying, "Well, chair, we disagree," or "Let us discuss," or "I'm referring this to Minister X or Y for action," because some of the things would not have been action necessarily by the PM, but by a line minister, then you know that you're making some progress. We did interact with the Minister of Planning and Development. But there were other things that required the input of the Prime Minister, and that just wasn't happening. And resources were problematic. I mean, we had staff with masters and doctorates and so on, young people, very bright, very capable, who were doing the research work, working on 1 month contracts and 2 months contracts. It wasn't. You can't have something like an Economic Development Advisory Board on a consistent basis, because this would be the equivalent of what the U.S. president has as a Council of Economic Advisors, right?
Right.
Which is taken quite seriously in the context of the United States. You know, we were not a constitutionally established body, but you have a team of nationals from different backgrounds who are prepared to contribute pro bono. We were totally pro bono. We didn't get a cent. If we had a meeting, we would have had lunch, perhaps, depending on if the meeting ran over lunchtime. You know, that's all we had. And access to a parking spot in the building where we had our offices. That was all that we had. But we received not a cent. We didn't want to get paid. We thought of this as national service, as contributing to the national development, given the fact that there was a change in government and so on. But anyways, that is what
David, I want to ask you one other question. I mean,
yeah, sure.
I worked 23 years in the New York Stock Exchange, and my analysis background, you know, we used to have a saying that if you go to a company and they send you to look for live bodies and you see 2 dead bodies in the corner, you have to investigate why those bodies died, even though they send you for live.
Yeah. Although, because those dead bodies might very well be the cause of a market crash.
Exactly, correct is right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I look at Bloomberg in the mornings to keep track of what is going on globally, because those things globally impacted us here. For a short while, I don't look at it all day. You know, look at it for about an hour in the mornings. Yeah.
So quick question: why do you think the committee was disbanded without any sort of? Is it because, I'm speculating here, is it because they may not have liked what they have seen in the report and they decided that, you know, we can't really go public with this report?
That could be the reason. I know we had a debate, and sometimes both the PM and the Minister of Finance throw some words for some of the economists and so on, including members of the EDAM. We had a debate about managing the foreign exchange reserves of the country and managing the exchange rate and access to foreign currency for people. And so there was a debate about that. The board, the majority members of the board had one view. I didn't necessarily agree 100%, but we were looking how, you know, if the exchange rate moved, you know, to the disadvantage of poor people, because prices would go up, how would you counteract and mitigate that? So a couple of us on the board were working quietly to see what other measures could be implemented to provide support for people who would be adversely affected if the exchange rate shifted. So there was that view, and I know the Minister of Finance and the board and the Prime Minister, you know, disagreed with the view on that. But that's all right. You have different views on economic policy, but that was one issue. But we were doing some very serious work around innovation. We were looking at developing the energy service sector to make it internationally competitive, given the fact that oil and gas are declining, but we had a strong service sector with 100 years of experience. So how do you utilize that to sustain earnings of foreign exchange. We were looking at the issues of steel pan development and how do we make the steel pan industry, not just the players and bands, but the manufacture of steel pans. How do we ramp that up? And we had some important discussions around those things. And there were other things that were being done in terms of innovation policy that were very important if we wanted to diversify the economy, because we set as a priority for the Economic Development Advisory Board, diversification of the economy, and how do we either save on imports of foreign exchange, or how do we earn foreign exchange from other sources other than oil and gas, given the fact that the oil and gas foreign exchange earnings are not sustainable over the long term. So that work was very important, and unfortunately, stopped, and that got stopped when 2017, I suppose, or early 2018, 2017, I think, 2017. So that's what now, 7 years. And when you lose 7 years, that's 7 years I lost. That's 7 years I lost.
You don't get that back.
You don't get it back.
Yeah. One other thing. I want to ask a question before we get to the round table, to the Summit Crime Report, to the PM. Can you help me, and if you can give me 3 innovative ideas that come out of Trinidad in the past 9 years?
You want me to scratch my head? No.
No. David, come on. David, come on.
I mean, there are people and firms who are doing some interesting stuff, I don't want to necessarily, pinpoint something, but there are people who are doing things that are interesting, developing software, developing things in animation, doing work in the creative sector with film and so on.
No, but David.
So those things exist, but
government.
Yeah.
I'm asking from the government.
Oh, from the government.
I'm not asking from individuals. I'm asking.
Okay, sorry.
Very specific. I know there are other people.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
But I want specifically from the government.
I wouldn't say there's anything innovative that has come out of the government. There's a new industrial park, and they brought in Chinese partners to do that. So they're now manufacturing Samsonite luggage out of Trinidad. But I wouldn't say that is innovative. That is simply manufacturing, which we have done before, but maybe now under different circumstances. So I don't call that innovation. There's a solar park that is being built, but that is not innovative. I mean, it's necessary given climate change and all of that, but it's not innovative because there are solar parks all over the world. So there are initiatives that have taken place, but I don't call those innovative. Okay. There's one thing that the government is supporting, but it was initiated by Ken Julian's son, actually, which is Professor Ken Julian's son, which is developing of green hydrogen, which NGC, the National Gas Company, as a state company, is partnering with and supporting. That would be important. That is innovative, because green hydrogen is not something that is globally, huge.
Right. Yeah.
It's an emerging technology, and it's getting some support. But that's about it.
All right. Thank you very much, David. But David,
no problems.
Let's talk about the round tables to submit the crime report now. Where's that report? Where's that report coming from? Who's responsible?
Okay, so let me just back up and share a little bit with your audience about the People's Roundtable. So last year May, I invited a number of civil society organizations to come together. I did that in my individual capacity. This is not now a MSJ party activity, although people still identify me, of course, as politically of MSJ, which I am. But when it comes to the roundtable, we said we didn't want to have party politics messing around and interfering with that, and then some people perceiving this to be anti-government or pro-opposition or anti-both of them or anything like that, right? So I did it because I thought I had some credibility as someone who's been around in the country for a long time and engaged with many different civil society organizations and different processes. So I invited organizations to come together, and we decided to call it the People's Roundtable. And then local government elections came up, and we put a pause on it and resumed in September, October of last year, and made a formal announcement in October of the establishment of the People's Roundtable. And then in November, announced that our first activity would be a civil society crime summit, which we originally had planned to be held on the 9th of January. And the idea was to have one in Trinidad and one in Tobago, because there was at the start a Tobago organization called Tobago Civil Net that was an active participating member in the People's Roundtable. But they then decided that they needed to focus on their work in Tobago. So while they're supportive of what we're doing, they're not anymore part of the participating member of the People's Roundtable. So we then said, okay, we would just have it in Trinidad. And then Mr. Pandey, of course, died, former Prime Minister, on the 1st of January in the US. And his funeral was on the 9th of January. And therefore, we had to postpone the holding of the crime summit from the 9th of January to the 31st of January. So this was a coming together. We sent out invitations to like more than 100 organizations, and we sent it out widely to individuals. And we had this activity at the Cipriani Labour College on the 31st of January. And coming out of that is this document, this report that I initiated. Well, I announced part of it in the press conference yesterday. And we are working on the final document, because it wasn't just a platform, a set of platform speakers, with a few people jumping up from the audience. You know how these things go. A few people get to the mic first, and then they want to speak long, and because they have something to say, and what they have to say is more important than everybody else, and blah, blah, blah. So we decided to have a real serious approach to a conversation, because one of the problems we have in this country is that people, I suppose it's not only Trinidad and Tobago, but given what's happening in the US too, and elsewhere in the world, in Europe and elsewhere, people don't listen to each other, and therefore don't have a serious conversation about the issues to arrive at consensus or disagreement, as the case may be. So our process was to enable people to listen and to engage. So after the presentations, we then went into simultaneous roundtables or working groups, and we had some 9 of them, each looking at one issue. So one dealt with education, one dealt with gender-based violence, one dealt with challenges to family life, one dealt with the criminal justice system, one dealt with crime as a barrier to investment and its impact on business, one dealt with white-collar crime and corruption, another one dealt with communities, rebuilding communities, and so on. One dealt with, there were a couple other issues. So we had 9 of these working groups, and then the working groups reported, but not, well, the working groups, we got the report subsequently by rapporteurs who are kindly provided, trained people by Cipriani College. And so, I mean, I have those documents on my desk, and they're running to multiple pages. So what I'm doing now is putting together a matrix, something like that, which would have the particular issue or the round table, the assessment, and the recommendations. And this is just taking a little bit of time, but what I shared yesterday was the first part of the report, which was about 6 pages long, which gives a background. There'll be an executive summary, the summary of the outcomes in terms of assessment and recommendations, how the proceedings went. So people would have a complete document and see all that we did. Yeah,
David,
that is what it is.
Is that for public consumption? The one that you just
it will be, yes. I mean, we haven't yet. I mean, yesterday I shared part of it, and that, of course, it was live streamed, and it is up on the Roundtable's Facebook page, the People's Roundtable, and you could find it there. And we will publish the entire thing. Of course, we're going to circulate the whole report not only to the participants, but also to organizations that we invited, whether they attended or not. And we'll be circulating the full report to all the decision makers in the country and to institutions like the criminology and sociology economics departments of UE, UTT, et cetera, and so sharing it widely, and to individual friends. So I know I see you on Facebook all the time, and I like a lot of the stuff you put up, but I will need to get your email so I could make sure and include you on my email list.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to
great. Yeah.
No,
So yes, we're going to make it public because we're also going to go to people in their communities and town meetings, because what we came up with isn't necessarily gospel. It's what 100 people came up with, in the course of an hour. By the way, the formal presentations, the lead presentation by Professor Reddock, all of those presentations, the lead ones are on YouTube. So when you send me the email, I'll send you the link to the YouTube channel, and we will append the individual, like Professor Reddock's PowerPoint presentation, which was first class. We'll append that to the report as well.
Now, David, when you talked about the invitation, were other political parties invited?
No. And we decided that very early on in the roundtable when we started meeting in June last year. And that is why MSJ does not participate as MSJ in the roundtable, so that people can't say that MSJ is there, but we're trying to exclude everybody else. So I am there as convener. Some people still, in the roundtable sessions, people still say, and in the press will say the convener of the roundtable and MSJ political leader. Although I try to tell them, when I function the roundtable, I do not wear my MSJ political leader hat. So we decided not to invite other political parties because we figured it would become problematic. And some civil society organizations would not feel comfortable participating if one or more or all of the parties were involved. And we wanted to keep this process very separate and different from what, you know, the UNC has their crime talks. Dr. Rowley did have a conversation, was a PNM conversation in some months ago or some weeks ago. So, and he discussed crime and violence. So they will do their thing, but people will always view what they're doing in a particular way. Whereas, so you get political sound bites that are good for the politicians in their election campaigning. What we try to do in our Civil Society Crime Summit is to stay away from that. And therefore, our lead presenters were, as I said, Professor Rhoda Reddock. We had Miss Michelle Solomon Baksh, who is an attorney at law, tutor at the Hugh Wooding Law School, and the Deputy Director of the Police Complaints Authority. We had Wayne Haid, Calypsonian, but he doesn't live in Trinidad and Tobago now. He's in Uganda, I think.
Yeah, he's in Uganda.
That's right, and the former UN head of discipline and so on. So, we had some key people who were not politically identified at all presenting. And then our facilitators were top people as well. We had Ms. Susan Francois, who is the former director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, who has experienced violence in a real way. Her sister was Dana Sitahal, who was murdered, of course, our leading senior counsel. And she facilitated the section on white-collar crime and corruption. We had Mr. Noble Phillip, who's a leading businessman in Trinidad and Tobago, writes a column in the Sunday Express. He facilitated the one on education. So we had some, Dr. Tayami Salandi, a university lecturer in sociology, facilitated the one on the culture of violence and youth at risk. So, there were some key people who facilitated, who come from their own professional backgrounds and experiences and so on. Two young researchers out of the Institute of Gender and Development Studies at UE facilitated the one on gender-based violence. So that was the kind of thing that we wanted to do, to have a serious conversation, not having any party politicking and who bad and who good and this one nasty and this one, how the thing degenerates in Trinidad and Tobago, regretfully. But we wanted, therefore, to have a serious conversations and people focusing on the issues. And I think we achieved that. And we now have to try to sustain that going forward in a real way.
Now, David, this report, just from listening to the individuals who are part of this committee, I'm calling it a committee, right? And I think that excellent things are going to come out of it. But do you think when you give the Prime Minister that report, anything going to come out of it?
Well, I could say that we have to live in hope, because the crime situation is horrendous, as you know, right? Yesterday, just a stone's throw, literally a stone's throw from the Marval police station. 3 men were shot and killed in the afternoon, broad daylight. a stone's throw from the Marval police station. You know, last week, young boy Ezekiel Parrier riding his bicycle on Laventil Road. Somebody passes in a car and shoots at another vehicle, kills somebody in that vehicle. But that young boy who was near the vehicle on the side of the road riding his bike gets a shot to the head, gets killed. You know, so the crime and violence is just horrendous. I mean, the police will say that the number of people murdered to date is less than last year to date, and that may be true, but that isn't satisfactory. That is just not satisfactory. And the brazenness of the crime and violence and so on is very significant. But we can't just focus on the young men who are pulling the trigger. We have to focus on a lot of the root causes, and that is why our discussion looked at all those different aspects. The education system. We have an education system which has been routinely failing for the last 30-odd years. 50% of the young people, 50% of our young people do not come out of secondary school with a full secondary school certificate of 5, what we now call CSEC, long time it was O-level passes, at their first try. They don't. Almost 50% of the children don't pass the secondary entrance examination. So we have, if that is happening, the issue is what happens to the young people who are coming out of school or don't come out of school, many drop out and so on, without qualifications to get a job, or not fully literate or numerate, you know, but maybe bright and talented, you know, where do they go? And they go into the gangs. That's what attracts them. So we have to look at education reform. We have to look at a whole series of things. You know, the economy is producing jobs, but the jobs, like in the US and elsewhere, are mainly lower paid, semi or unskilled jobs like security guards, people working in the fast food business, restaurants, casinos. Those jobs don't necessarily have any mobility, and they're not secure. They don't provide, you know, long-term benefits and so on. A lot of people work, even in the government service. There are doctors who have been in the medical, have been in the medical profession for 10 and 15 years, who are working for 3 months contracts. 3 months contracts.
David.
So how do those young people get a house? They can't go to the bank to get a mortgage.
Where, Tommy?
Yeah, David.
Yeah, sorry, Tony. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard what you're saying, but I want to reflect on something that we were talking about earlier. We have quite a bit of law enforcement officers who are abusing their authority and getting away with it. How do we resolve these issues?
Yeah, so there's a police complaints authority, which there are two. Well, there's an internal within the police service. There's an internal professional standards bureau, it's called, which does investigate acts of corruption and abuse. The police complaints authority also does that, but the police complaints authority is limited in its power. So people have advocated for the strengthening of the police complaints authority powers so that they could do their own forensic investigation. So if there's a police shooting, for example, the police shoot and kill somebody, the police complaints authority cannot go and hold the gun and pick up the cartridges and do a forensic investigation to see what took place. They have to rely on the police forensic investigation, and therefore there could be easily cover-ups and so on. So the police complaints authority has called for, and we have supported the call for stronger powers to be given to it, and that would assist. There's a whole issue of wearing of body cameras, and this police are supposed to be, more and more police officers are supposed to be wearing body cameras, but that hasn't happened. In fact, the Commissioner of Police being quizzed before a parliamentary committee was asked about that, and she said that a lot of police officers have violated instructions to wear body cameras. Now, she is in charge of the police in total, according to the Constitution, which was amended by Mr. Pandey and Mr. Manning, when Mr. Manning was Prime Minister, Mr. Pandey was the opposition leader, the Commissioner of Police has full control over the management of the police, of all police officers. The only promotions that the police commissioner cannot do or disciplinary action is at the level of assistant commissioner of police and deputy commissioner of police. So apart from that, the police commissioner has full control and therefore ought to be able to ensure that police officers wear body cameras particularly when they're going into, situations where there could be a gunfight and so on.
So David, I want you to just hold that thought there quickly. We have a caller on the line. I want to ask you a question. Go ahead, caller.
Sure.
Good night to you, Wall Street. Good night to you, Uncle Tony. Good night to you, Mr. Abdullah.
Good night.
It is nice to hear Mr. Abdullah and all them frequency in Trinidad and Tobago. I think they have a lot of knowledge. But this question I want to ask Mr. Abdullah. Mr. Abdullah, under the People's Partnership, I admire when you walk out in the beginning, claiming there was corruption and you're not supporting those things. I admire that. But Mr. Abdullah, what we see in today, the governance that we see in today and the representation that the citizens of this country facing, it is 10 times worse under the People's Partnership. I remember the march from Carnage to Port of Spain with all the unions and them. I remember a lot of big march when they drag Miss Kamala in Port of Spain, all these things. Mr. Abdullah, people like you all and the union and them, the same vibrant action all they had then and 10 times worse now. I would have liked to see the union leaders and them, your organization, the MSJ, come out and speak. Because just as how the way you're speaking about the camera and those things, the government, citizens of this country spend millions of dollars to buy camera for them police them to put on. And you know what they say after? They say after it was not law for these police officers and them to wear the camera, but they take millions of our money and buy the camera, and then after they say it is not law for them to wear the camera and them.
All right, so COP,
I am.
Let me have Mr. Abdullah answer because we're running short on time. Okay.
Yeah, I know that. I will listen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So very quickly, I mean, if the Commissioner of Police issues an instruction, a directive to police officers to wear a body cam, you don't need a law for that. That is a instruction by the Commissioner of Police, and all police officers are supposed to obey the instructions because it's a military type organization. Superior officer instructs, so that is that. So the Commissioner of Police therefore has the ability to take disciplinary action against police officers for not wearing. So that's one. On the issue of actions, I mean, tomorrow morning at 10:30, I'm outside the Ministry of Public Utilities with an MSJ press conference on the issue of the tea and tech rate increase. I launched a petition campaign in December, and we are relaunching it tomorrow morning. So there are actions. There was a protest action yesterday by the Postal Workers Union, and there was one today by the Communication Workers Union outside TSCT. So unions are engaged in various kinds of protest action, but unions have also had some big hits by this government, because this government, you're right, has attacked the labor movement. So ODB2 lost thousands of members when Petrotrin closed down. The Communication Workers Union lost hundreds of members when TSCT was downsized. So unions have taken a hit. And so, in a sense, other people outside of the labor movement also have to now decide they want to take action. But, we could only do as much as we can do, given the consciousness of the average citizen out there. A lot of people, I mean, there have been protest actions in Laventille Road over the killing of Ezekiel Parrier for the last 2 or 3 days. So you are beginning to see people taking actions, and these things sometimes take some time to build up. When a young girl, Naomi, was killed in Carnage, I organized a march in Carnage, but the residents of Carnage didn't come out. Why? Maybe because I thought they want to continue supporting the PNM in that area. That's Dr. Rowley's constituency. But we had a match and raise that issue, and we will continue to take actions. But it really requires, in a sense, a revolutionary mind now for the average citizen in this country to decide that enough is enough and to do something about it. But part of the problem is that people don't necessarily see the option of going back to the UNC. And that's another conversation that for another time, perhaps, and Slim. We could talk about that on another occasion, because our time is short and I unfortunately didn't join at 9.
And one last thing before you go, David. There is this perception that union leaders make all this money. And some people are saying there are some union leaders who even make more than the prime minister. Can you somehow put that to rest?
Right. So I was in the trade union movement for very many years. I retired as general secretary, which is the second most important position in the oilfield workers trade union. And I certainly was not making anything near like a minister's salary. Yeah, so that is a fact. I mean, I can't say what is the salaries of other unions. I'm not familiar with what other unions did. But in OWTU, if somebody came from a particular workplace on secondment, so if somebody was working at TNTech in a particular position and they came to work full-time in the union, then they would get what they got in TNTech, right? But nobody came in as top managers. So, Ansel Roger came in as at the level perhaps as a supervisor in Trinidad. That is not the level of the CEO of that company. So he would not have been getting what the CEO of that company was getting whatsoever.
So give us a scale, based on what you know of what a leader of a union will get. Between 20 to 25,000, between 15 to 20,000, between 10 to 15,000.
Different unions have different capacities to pay, have different arrangements. I really don't know. And I retired from the union 8 years ago. End of March 2016 was when I retired. So I don't know.
What's the salary for the leader when you retired? For the leader
well, I don't remember. He was getting whatever he got because he came from Trinidad. So he was getting whatever he was working for at Trinidad. Yes, okay. I can't, that is private information. I don't disclose that, but he was getting exactly the same amount that he got when he was working at Trinidad. And he was not a manager in Petrotrin, he was not a manager at Trinidad. So and he was not at the top of the salary scales negotiated by the union, right? He was getting a union negotiated rate of pay when he was working at Trinidad, and that is the same rate of pay that he got when he came into the union as president. The same applied to Errol McLeod. Yeah, I was not working in industry, so I had a pay scale within the union's pay scale, which was certainly not $30,000 a month. It was less than that.
But the union leaders do get perks, though, right, from the union, right?
It depends on the union. It depends on the union. So in the case of Oilfield Workers Trade Union, from the days of John Rojas going back into the 1940s, okay, the President General always had a vehicle that was paid for by the union, and that continues to today. The General Secretary from the time I joined the union in 1977, the General Secretary at the time, Mr. Bannister, Lionel Bannister, had a car assigned to him by the union. When I retired, when I was General Secretary, I had a car assigned to me as a union. So that was part of it, because you were expected to move about the country and visit workplaces and attend meetings and so on behalf of the union and do union work. So it wasn't for gallivanting. So that was, if you want to call that a perk of office, but that was something that goes back. But not every union necessarily has the same arrangement. I'm talking about an arrangement that goes back to the 1940s for the OWTU. Yes. So it wasn't anything new. It wasn't anything new.
So David, I mean, I want to thank you so much for coming in on such short notice, because that crime report interests me. And the reason why it interests me, because I think with the amount of expertise you have there, I hope the Prime Minister doesn't do like what he did previously and put it in his his lowest jaw that he has in his
his cabinet.
In his cabinet.
Yeah. I hear you. And what is going to be important in that regard to prevent that is our now starting to go out to the public,
right,
and build support around it, and have the people in communities, because they may say, listen, we don't agree with this, that, and that, we think that something else should be there. So we are hoping to strengthen the document by engaging people in the communities, and therefore building a movement, because only really a movement, which is what the previous caller was really asking about, it's only a movement of people on the ground can force decision makers to make changes that are in the interest of the ordinary man and woman in the country.
Will the MSJ be contesting the 2024-2025 general election?
Well, yes, that's our intention. Of course, if you provide some of your millions of US dollars for us, that would help us. Since you asked me about pay and so on, you could provide some millions, because the UNC and the PNM get their money from the political financiers, the political investors, who then expect to get a rate of return on their investment when their party wins. And the big investors invest in both parties, so they don't have one party. Well, they have one party card, that's PIP, Party in Power.
Yeah.
So whichever way the thing goes, their bread is buttered. And the political culture then, there's a bill before Parliament, Representation of the People Amendment Bill number 2 of 2021 or something like that. I have it on my desk here, which is to create party finance and party regulations of party finances and campaign finance reform. It's quite a strong piece of legislation. MSJ submitted years ago pages of recommendations to strengthen and improve the legislation. It's before a joint select committee of Parliament, but neither the PNM are interested in bringing that forward, because none of them want their finances to be known.
Yeah, sorry, David. I think them fellas don't want that. But they
no, they don't want that. And the reality also is that, Kamala said last night in a meeting in Presal, where I live. I didn't go, of course, to the meeting. It was in the secondary school just not far from me. And she said that both the PNM and the UNC really are not about race politics. Well, I don't think anybody in the country really believes that, because we all know that the politics of both the PNM and the UNC is based, they don't appeal openly to race, but everybody knows that their voter support and voter base is ethnically comprised. And so we have to break that culture, which is not an easy culture to break, but MSJ is committed to working towards breaking that.
So, David, we want to thank you so much, man. We have to get you back, especially when the report is released, so we can have a more in-depth discussion. Thank you so much. Any closing words before you go?
No, just want to thank you, and I'm glad to be able to be on your station. I'm sometimes get invited by WBAI out of Manhattan, and New York, WPFW with our brother Von Martin and so on, And I'm going to do something with Lima Dunbar down in Miami in about a week's time, and Caribbean Voices, I think her program is. So we're very happy to engage with the Trinbagonian and Caribbean diaspora, because what we would like is actually for the Trinbagonian diaspora to also contribute to this document, because you all have ideas as well and are in touch with what is going on in the country, and you could make important interventions based upon your own knowledge and experiences. So this is not going to be the round table. We want the diaspora to be involved in the People's Round Table. It's not a round table only for those of us living here. It really is for all Trinbagonians here and abroad. So that I hope that we could have that conversation and work out how we get the diaspora interactive with the People's Round Table.
Thank you very much, David. We really appreciate you coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
All right, take
care. Be safe.
All right.
Good night.
Yeah. So there you have it. There you have it, Tommy. Let's go for the break, Tommy. We'll be right back. Stick and stay. It's In the Village with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's In the Village with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Trini time and 6 to 9 p.m. USA time. So, Tommy, well, Tommy, you know, on Thursday, right? I want to get your opinion on as we close. I want to get your opinion on what happened to us yesterday with our guest. And you know, I didn't get any message from her.
Wow.
Is that how we huh?
Who was our main point of contact with her before?
Who was our main point? No, I contacted her directly.
She has come before.
Yeah, I contacted her directly and she agreed to come on, and she didn't even send a message and say she couldn't make it. Something happened. Yeah. What can I tell you? My closing comment is instead of looking what's depressing, look at what's a blessing. Instead of looking what's depressing, look at what's a blessing. From where I said this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. And remember, your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. There you go, Tommy.
Yes, indeed. You are responsible for who you become. This one is from a man they call the king. The image is one thing and the human being is another. It's very hard to live up to an image. Like I always say, you have to become the change you want to see. You, the man in the mirror. However, if you look in that mirror and you don't like what you see, you cannot blame the mirror. Do not look down on a person unless you're giving them a hand up. Love you all. Be safe. Remember, love is the key to life.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you. You're welcome.
What are you going out with tonight, boy? What do you want to go out with, Tommy?
A sad place, man.
I like that. Yeah, Tommy, boy.
When I think about what we discussed tonight.
Sad place, boy. No joking. Let me see. So, folks, if you want, you can put your closing comments in the chat. I'll pause the music.
I know David was being diplomatic and politically correct when it comes to talking about law enforcement and the bad behavior. But
me and Jean say, I know why people are a no-show. Why 3 people who are a no-show?
Which 3
All right,
people?
I mean, Jean, you gotta update that first.
Which 3 people?
I don't know. I think he wanted to put why. I know why 3 people are no-show. 3 people who are a no-show. Okay. Yeah, one was Watson Duke. One was the former PDP deputy political leader. But Tommy, by the way, did I tell you that I got a note from Watson Duke?
No, you did not.
Okay. So Watson Duke sent me a note when he saw I sent all that information to the deputy political leader. And he said to me that I shouldn't be using deputy. He said, let me read what he says. Because I don't want to misquote him. Because he does get all of
you could have put the word former in front.
That's what I did.
Well,
did I miss that?
Former, you're on point. You're not errant.
Yeah, but he said he chastised me and tell me. Let me see what it is here. Okay. Listen to this. Why you continue to associate Kizal with my party? She should not be associated with my party. She resigned over 1 year ago.
She's still former. But she resigned 10 years.
And is forming her own party. But I put former. Let me see if I put former PDP political leader.
Yeah. Former, you're on point.
Tell me what is wrong with them, boy. You know what? Me even answer him.
No, it doesn't even make sense answering him.
To me, it make no sense answering him. Look the thing there. I just ignore him. You know, a person put former in front of a person name. You go tell me, okay, former means to. You used to, right?
Used to be once upon a time. Whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, 2 years.
I could put I'm a former worker at the New York Stock Exchange. Boy, tell me, boy. I don't know. Anyway, folks, we out there. You could put your closing comment and we get back to it. You know, everyone, see you on Thursday. You know, let me see if this is another comment here. Hailey says, Trinidadians, if you were Gore, will you accept the behavior of Trinidadians? Something to think about. Okay, Hailey.
Okay, Hailey.
Okay, Hailey. That's something to think about, right, Tommy?
Yep.
So, folks, we out of here. You can put your closing comments in the chat still. We will post it on the screen. We are out of here. Where's this thing now? We out of here. Bye-bye.
This is oh Lord.
Okay, Mean Gene say, you know why there was a no-show? Can you tell us, Mean Gene? Mean Gene Julian, can you tell us?
This is oh Lord. Trinidad and Tobago. This is DJ Bravo. I'm hurting you know. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderators in another body in a dream. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. And next road stain with somebody's sunburn. Who take the S out of Port of Spain. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. Now with the love, with the vibes, with the hope. Now tell me something, how we really want we cope. When the children breathing in too much gun smoke. And the Coast Guard can never see a boat. Yes, I'm like some goats when they come looking for votes. Fit to empty promises, reading like a horoscope. Justice for sale in a fat envelope. Politically, all the answers is a joke. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderators in another body in a dream. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. And next road stain with somebody's sunburn. Who take the S out of Port of Spain. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad. country turn into a sad place. It doesn't matter the religion, the color, the creed, or the race. It's our responsibility to take care of our place. Champion!
Involved in a lot of underhanded things. Who's that in particular they're talking about?
I don't know. Hold on.